We are live streaming right now. This is the OK Show. My name is Iceman.
Hey, my name's Rob Rodriguez. Hello.
Hello, hello, hello. I'm so
What up, what
sorry.
up?
I forgot our show.
You forgot our show?
I almost forgot. I was so busy and I looked at my watch. Oh my God, it's 10. I was so
Are you trying,
preoccupied. I was so preoccupied.
are you trying to be a Rob Rodriguez? Are you trying to pull a Rob Rodriguez here?
Uh, in a way, because you, my friend, just out of nowhere would just tell me that, oh yeah, I just got a new MacBook Pro. I'm like, what? What? Like you just went
Oh, what?
outside to buy like a loaf bread or something.
What? What were you saying?
No, I was trying to pull something like what you did. Like one time when we were having a show and you were like, oh yeah, I'm using my new MacBook Air, MacBook Pro. I was like, what? Like, when did you get your MacBook Pro? I'm like, oh, I just got it. I'm like, wow. It's like buying a new pair of slippers, or you just went out to get what, like a loaf bread or something.
What am I supposed to do? Like have a parade or something? I mean, that's how you do it. You go to the store.
No, I mean
That's how
people
you do
prepare
it.
for that shit. People actually think about that
Dude,
shit. I'm like,
in the
oh,
Philippines, yes. In the Philippines, yes. Apparently, in the Philippines, every major purchase requires like the approval of everyone else. But
right.
it's a basic thing, man. It's not
Oh,
it's not
I
like
forgot you moved to Colorado. Oh yeah, yeah, you have a new house, of course. Right. You're not in the
that's
Philippines
the
anymore.
one.
That's why.
That's how you show swag. All right. See, I don't even like I'm not even I'm like okay. Anyways, doing the show and what's going on here? We are talking about a decade that I think in many ways it's like yeah. See that guy? See that's how he rolls. He just like flashes the phone. But which one is that? Is that a new one or the same thing?
This is the iPhone 13 Pro Max.
So you got it already?
Yeah, I got it. Right.
Didn't it just do an unboxing of that? Like I thought it wasn't even out yet.
No, it was
I,
out 24th. They were releasing on the 24th. They started releasing on the 24th. Then I
so
got mine today.
Did you trade in your other phone?
Yeah, I returned my old phone to get this new one. Right. So,
Yeah,
I could save like half
dude,
the
you
price.
know how much those things are here? I mean, like I don't even know how much that is now, to be honest, because I just know that
Well,
I just know that
like you said, I'm not in the Philippines. Like in the Philippines, that would
yeah,
be the
yeah,
case, right? So I'm not in the
exactly. That's
Philippines.
right,
So
that's
it's
right,
kind of
that's
like
right.
it's not as difficult as people would think it is in the
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Philippines. It's I
And it's
just have
not
to
as
return
big a
my old
deal.
phone. It's not a
Yeah,
big
it's
a
not as
deal.
big a deal. It's not as big a deal
No,
because I mean,
it's
you
just
know,
yeah. Was just like happy I got it because there was some kind of fluke that that transpired at the at the what do they call it, phone store. It's not a phone store. It's like the it's like Globe or something. We have SoftBank here. We went there and we started talking. I'm like, there was like a bit of a like a bit of a problem, and I'm like, all right, but we sorted it out. So well, we stayed there for 2 hours, man, 2 hours.
hmm
But then
hmm
finally I got my phone, and then I was trying to like set it up with all the like the apps that I had with my old phone and whatnot. I still have like a couple of weeks before I actually ship the phone back. I actually didn't have to surrender my phone there. They just gave me like a
hmm
sort of like a paper with some bubble wrap in it, and you just have to ship it
hmm
through post office, and like that's it. I didn't have to turn it over at the SoftBank office. So right, so that's why I was just like
Right.
so
Got it.
preoccupied. But anyway, not
Congratulations,
a big
man.
deal.
I mean,
Not a big deal.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
not
Happy
MacBook
for
Pro
you.
or anything. All right, it's just an iPhone 13
Well,
Pro
no,
Max.
that thing's
It's
more
not a MacBook
expensive.
Pro.
You hear that thing's more expensive? It's like it's expensive, but regardless, it is. It's like it's 100K.
I mean, I think if you
Same
have
here.
the 1 terabyte, probably I only have the 256,
I
256
man, regardless.
gig.
But the bottom line is the one that kind of piqued my interest about that phone. And obviously I'm not getting it. I have an iPhone 8, and I'm okay so far with it. But the thing about that is like if you do photography and you have an eye for pictures and taking photos, so it's not that goes beyond it. Because that one, like I told you about, I mentioned it to you, it has cinema mode. That's the one that like, caught me because I saw the trailers and I saw like Marquez Brownlee and like some reviewers like talk about it, and they showed like specific cinematic scenes taken with the video, the cinema mode of that phone. Dude, it's crazy, man. It's crazy because you have the Max, so I think that's the best like spec wise, right? In terms of like the
No, I
cameras
think
and
it's the
stuff.
same. It just have a bigger screen compared to the Pro, but it's like everything's the same except for the screen.
Okay, okay, so it's yeah, it's probably like the best one that you can. I mean, if I have like a really good camera, I would want it on a big screen, right?
All
Right, you
right,
would
there
want
we
it
go.
on a
Yeah.
bigger,
Well, I was
right?
thinking
Yeah,
of
yeah.
Snow. My wife's getting the Pro, not the Pro Max. So I was like, all right, one of us can have the Pro Max, but it's the same thing.
I mean,
Camera
how much?
specs,
Like,
everything's the same.
what's the size? Like, what's the size difference? Like,
I think it's
the pro is what size? The size of an iPhone 10? What is it? Like,
this is
I
a
don't really.
okay 6.7 inch screen.
That's
Then the
huge,
Pro
right?
would be 6.1, which is
Okay,
slightly
that's pretty
bigger than the
okay. All right,
actually
that's quite
iPhone 13.
significant.
Because there's like
That's quite significant.
iPhone 13 Pro, then Pro Max. So
That's quite
6.1,
significant.
6.7, then the 13 is probably like 5.7, which was I think
Mm-hmm.
the size of the iPhone 5 back then. So right. So
That is
I
super
just got
cool.
used to using like like those big ass iPhones. So I mean that
Yeah.
explains it.
And it's
Anyway,
actually like a lot of people will say, okay, it's you spend too much on a phone or whatever. You know what? I actually think it's quite practical. I mean, if you have not purchased a DLSR in your lifetime, or if you don't want to buy like an expensive video cam or whatever, and you just want to have like something, all these things in one, I think it's actually a pretty good deal considering the capabilities of the phone. I mean, but for those who don't do photography or we're not going to be taking videos or whatever, then I don't know, maybe. But I think for me personally, if you could afford it, you worked hard for it. It feels good to buy something that's kind of substantial. And at the end of
I
the
know,
day,
I know.
I notice with Filipinos, man. I notice with Filipinos, if they have like, let's say they have 20,000 pesos, right?
Right.
20,000 pesos is like, okay, I'm not gonna buy a phone with it. I'm not gonna spend it on something because that's like to them it's like, or to us it's like a lot of money, right? 20,000, 30,000, 50,000, however. But you know what? As long as you have that money, Filipinos will have a tendency to find something else to spend it on. And
That's true.
and right? And there are worse things you could spend your money on than a phone that does like crazy cinematic videos. Because can you imagine capturing your child's memories and her looking back to when she grows up and she looks at her childhood videos and she will thank you and she will tell you, "Pa, good thing you upgraded to the iPhone Pro Max because now I can enjoy my videos. And they're still in good resolution. It's in that drawer." So yeah, speaking of, so anyways, um, yeah, we're talking about the '90s. We're talking about a decade that I think like I said earlier, in many ways, it's kind of like a meet me halfway situation for a lot of the people who are out there. I mean, us and the younger set. Granted, a lot of the younger ones were born during the '90s, and we were around doing stuff during the '90s. But I think it's like like our parents probably will talk about the '90s in a different light because they were parents, right?
There's something wrong with your voice quality right now. Is it a
Really? Hold on.
like maybe I don't know, like it's kind of
Is it
it's different.
scratchy? Could be the mic. Hold on.
It's not the normal
Hold on. Hold on.
it's not a normal audio
Hold on.
that you
Hold on.
used to have when we have our shows. It's
There.
probably like it's still the
Is it?
same. It's
Okay.
like
Hold
2
on. Let me.
a.m. ish. 2 a.m. ish.
I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying because I think I got that same feedback from when I was doing the webinar. So I have to hold on. I think I have to check something here. I'm not sure.
Yeah,
I did
actually
not
when
really
you're
make
using
any.
your phone, the phone mic actually sounded better than this one.
Okay, hold on. Let me remove this. Okay,
All right.
because something might be wrong with my
Probably with
mic.
the I don't know, like with the cord
Okay,
maybe,
hold on.
like with the way
Oh,
you
no, no.
plug
Or
it
it
in.
could be. Hold on. Hold on. I think it could be this. Is that? Hold on. I will get rid of this and I will try with this speaker. Can you hear me?
Yes, but I cannot hear you. I cannot hear you. It's muted. I think you don't have a mic. Right. See, Patrick's been telling us earlier. Rod, your mic quality is not so good tonight. I thought there's not going to be an episode tonight. No, there is. We told you 100K plus here in the Philippines. Really? Oh my God. Rod sounds like you yeah, that's right. You sound like you're on a phone patch. Oh really? Australia has to wait for a month? I didn't know that. Yeah, the release date was yesterday. So yeah, I could have gotten it yesterday, but we were both working, me and my wife, so we decided to go to SoftBank today. And yeah, finally I got it. But yeah, no big deal. It's the same phone actually. I can't hear you, man. Something's wrong with the yeah, your video quality is very good, better than usual, but your audio, yeah, it sucked. It sounds like you're on a phone and we're on a phone patch, like you're at Victoria Plaza or at SM doing an update. But in this case, you're in your home in Colorado with your grand piano, fireplace, your nice sofa, right? And if you've been watching the Senate hearings, Rod's background is way better than those senators. Every time they move, it just, I don't know what happens. It's, I mean, the graphics just, yeah, you feel like you're watching the Matrix or something. It really sucks. But with Rod's you know, his background is so much better. I mean, when he moves, it doesn't have that, like blur. No, we still can't hear you. Still
Because it
can't
was
hear you.
muted. Is that okay?
It's better. It's better.
What the heck happened? I think if I turn on the
That
freaking
audio's good. That audio's good.
if I do something with the AirPods, it gets screwy.
Right.
I do not know what happened, but yeah, it's
Yeah,
weird.
that's better.
Weird. It's weird, but yeah, this is better.
So much better.
Okay, thank you. So
Back to
yeah,
the,
always
back to
give
the
me a heads up, man,
legit
because
audio.
I do not know what's wrong. I don't know what's going on. This should have nothing to do with, right? That's so weird. Because I did a webinar earlier, and I think my audio was probably screwed up the whole time. So I apologize to the UP Min students if that was the case. If I sounded like that, because I can't imagine how it sounded like, because I can't monitor it. But I'm assuming maybe I did, because the funny thing was when my what's it called gave up, when it died, when my AirPods died, and I took it off, one of the organizers said that sounds better. So I'm like, hey, why did you give me the heads up the whole time? Like if that's the thing. It's like always, I think you should always try to get feedback from people. We should always ask first, and then and then when somebody says we sound terrible, that my quality is not good tonight, I'm using the same mic. Is the mic good, or am I coming off
Now
like a
it's good. Now
different
it's
source?
good. I think Patrick
Is it
was
this?
talking about the earlier time.
Is it the
So
same
yeah.
quality?
No. Now it's good. I think this came on like 10:09 p.m. It's
No, I
already
mean, is
10:20.
this the
So
same quality? Like, is this the
yeah,
same
yeah,
mic
yeah.
quality that I
Yeah. That's
usually
that's the
use? Okay.
usual. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's the
something's
usual sound
up,
that
man. Something happened. I
you
think
have.
Zoom changed the quality.
Zoom. You think it's Zoom?
Yeah, because I
We're,
did
we're,
Zoom
we're using
earlier.
Streamyard. Could be with your AirPods. Like probably when you turn on your AirPods, automatically it goes to like the AirPods microphone and
Oh my
not your
God.
mic.
Yes, I
That
might
could
have
be it.
done the yeah, I might have done that show like with I don't know what was going on, but I should have asked for an audio check first. But they didn't not give me feedback. So I think people should always you should always give people feedback when it comes to communicating. Like Ice and I were used to this because we do radio, and we know that there's always a better connection, and we're quite conscious about that stuff, because we're in the business of just being heard. And it's good that people gave us feedback. Like Patrick says, it sounded like a phone patch. So can you imagine? I did a webinar earlier, it sounded like a phone patch the whole time. What the heck? I'm assuming that was probably the case. And yeah, see, Gab said the iPhone is 100,000 plus here in the Philippines. That's kind of crazy, but um yeah, in the States, I think it's also cheaper. In the States, it's probably around 700
No, I
something
think that's
dollars.
the 1 terabyte. variant. That would cost you 100,000. But this one, no, I didn't think so. The pricing is so global now that it's not really that far from, it's just a matter of the buying power of the people. So I think if you actually think about it, it's almost the same. I have the 256. This would probably cost me around, because in reality this would be costing me around 60, 70. So it could be like, because 50, yeah, it could be about around 60,000. So if I get the 1 terabyte, that's the one that would cost you about 100,000. So this one is around 60 or 70, 60 to 70,000. So yeah, it's not 100. The 1 terabyte model would cost you 100,000. That will set you back like really far.
Yeah. So, anyways, yeah, that's the thing. It's like you need it. You need to upgrade because at the end of the day, like what I do, like I have an old ass iPhone, so it's taking up a lot of my memory because I constantly have to update and update and update and update and update. So I've updated countless times since God knows since I got the phone. So it's taken up so much of the memory that should be allocated for photos and videos and whatnot because of the updates. But if you get the latest phone, you're not set to update for a good certain time period because you have like the latest software and it's going to be future proof basically, and we can't help it. I mean, it's like everything's like USB-C now, right? The connections, it's like
Um,
USB-C. I don't know with the
See, they're duping you because it's C connecting to the what do you call that? The
the
uh
charger, the charger
the charger, right?
port, yeah.
Do you call that the
But
charging port?
connecting it to
But
the phone,
it's still like the flash
the same
USB
banana.
flash, right? Same. So yeah, they're like, oh, it's USB C now, connecting to the what's that charger port? What do you call
Yeah,
that?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, whatever that
Charge
is. Yeah,
port. Yeah,
that
yeah.
thing.
This one, that
Yeah.
thing. Yeah.
This one is like still use like the
Oh no, you
flash
mean like
USB.
yeah, like
What do you call that?
yeah,
Like the that's not a port. That's the flash. That's
like
the
this one,
charger. Yeah,
like
yeah. What do you
like
call
here,
that?
like that
Adapter,
one.
adapter,
Yeah, yeah,
adapter.
yeah.
Yeah, the
Yeah, it's like
adapter. So going to
USB
the
C. Yeah,
adapter. Where's my vocabulary? Going to the adapter, you would need a C connection. So not the USB, like the normal USB, like input. You would need the C. But then coming here is the same thing. So actually, if you have an old charger, it would still work. It would still work.
yeah.
Nothing's
Okay, got it.
changed.
Got it. All right. So yeah, so we're doing the 90s. So anybody out there who or anything that they want to share with us about the 90s, basically your experiences, the vibe that was around during the 90s, the music you were listening to, the clothes you were wearing, the hangouts, the
The
food,
shows you were watching,
the shows you were watching, the movies you were watching, the brands that were popular that are no longer popular now.
right?
I think a lot of
The
us have that
toys,
in common.
some of those
Yeah.
novelty toys, right? The Tamagotchi was back in the '90s. I
Yes. The
remember that. That was
fads.
so
The
big,
fads. Brick
you know.
game. What are you talking
Brick
about?
game, yeah, brick
Brick game.
game. Brick game
AKA
was so
Tetris.
big. Everybody had it.
AKA Tetris. It's like
Tetris,
it's
yeah,
like the
Tetris. You
brick
call it
game is like you
Tetris,
buy a brick game. It's like freaking like 120 in one. And it's basically like just Tetris in different forms. Like
right?
they
Right,
used to pixel or they used
and in
the
different levels,
graphics. Yeah, it's the same thing. And it just kind of like mishmash it into like different games. Like one's a shooting. But I don't know, for some reason people bought that. And that was the thing about the 90s too. It was like it was all about trends. There was not very many people who were like individuals because I think there were not very many choices yet. So if like nauso yung Tamagotchi, everyone had Tamagotchi. If nauso yung brick game, everybody had the brick game. It's not like now where people have choices, so their interests are different. It's like, yeah, there's a group of people who are riding bicycles. There's a group of people who are into Vespas. There's a group of people who are into the PlayStation. There are a group of people, it's not everybody's doing the same thing exactly. There's still that like, that mob mentality when it comes to fads, but not very limited like back then. Like back then, whether you were a boy or a girl, Tamagotchi was okay. Whether you're a boy or a girl, the brick game, right? We were all wearing pretty much
hmm
the same thing. We were all pretty much wearing the same thing. There wasn't a very clear line. But anyways, yeah, share with us. What about you, man? I mean, what about the 90s? You don't necessarily miss, but just kind of like for me, the 90s was a very so it was a very memorable decade. I guess history wise, we lost Michael Jackson, we lost Princess Diana like the same year, was it? Maybe 97. Was
I
that
think so.
97 or 96, right? Um and I don't know, a lot of things took place. There was a dynasty in the NBA, the Chicago Bulls. So it was all
Hmm.
about the Chicago Bulls pretty much during the entire 90s. When you think about it, they won 6 championships during that decade. So like only 4 years that they did not win the championship during the 90s. And that one year was the time when Michael Jackson retired. Michael Jordan
Michael
retired
Jordan.
temporarily. Michael Jackson. Um, what else? It was about. Did we not lose? Oh no, 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 not Michael Jackson. Who was it that we lost during the 90s? Who passed?
Princess Diana.
Yeah, Princess
Princess
D.
Diana died.
When did Michael Jackson die? Like 2000s?
I think 2000. So like probably 2010 or
Oh, no,
20
no, it wasn't
2009.
Michael Jackson. I think it was Mother Teresa, right?
Mother
I know
Teresa
it was.
in the 90s? I don't think so. I don't think so. I don't think it's
Michael Jackson died
Mother Teresa.
2009. All right, thanks,
All
thanks,
right,
Anak.
see? All right. Your kid knows when
No, it
Michael
wasn't. I think it
Jackson
was Mother
died.
Teresa. I know it's somebody famous whose name starts with an M. Oh, yeah, her name doesn't even start with an M. It's just her title, so to speak. When did she? Yeah, 1997. All right. So she died 1997 September.
Hmm.
Princess Diana died when? Um, Passed away August. So like just a month apart, less than like a week after a week. So yeah, that was kind of like what stood out to me. Not Michael Jackson, sorry. Either way, he's dead, so doesn't matter. But the thing is, yeah. So the 90s was quite a memorable decade. A lot of animes made their name. I don't know when Dragon Ball Z started showing here in the Philippines, but that thing's been around forever. But Ghost Fighter was a big thing. These other Tagalize animes, I think, started during the 90s, if I'm not mistaken.
Right.
Sedi, Princess Sarah, these were all during the 90s,
Cable.
right?
Cable started in the 90s. I
Cable,
remember
yes,
that.
yes, yes.
I think 90, 91, 92. They were doing test broadcasts, and we could see those shows from the United States. Like we had
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
NBC, then like first time I've seen Dateline and whatnot, and it sounded so interesting. It looked so interesting because it was so different than the kind of programming that we have here. And the commercials, they were so good.
Yeah, yeah,
Burger
yeah.
King, blah blah.
I think they showed adult
The
stuff
insurance,
too,
adult stuff.
like on
Yeah, yeah,
cable,
yeah, yeah.
but they would scramble it. Like it was scrambled.
If it's
Um,
if it's 12 midnight, I think it's like, well, it's not really like they would show nudity. It's not necessarily it's X-rated, but it's like it has nudity. They
okay.
they,
So you
they
stayed
would
up
be
late, huh?
showing. No, yeah, but I would just to wait for um movies like Sliver or Basic Instinct. These were the
Yeah,
movies
yeah,
they
yeah,
were
yeah, yeah,
showing.
yeah. The
At,
5 seconds of
midnight, right? Like a five,
nakedness.
10 second
Yeah,
of nakedness, and I didn't know how
yeah.
to manage to like jerk off and come in 10 seconds. You know what I'm saying? It's like you're waiting. Like, oh, this is
And
the part.
and you couldn't rewind it. You couldn't rewind it.
You can't rewind it.
You
That's
couldn't
why,
rewind
right?
it because
So
that's cable.
you have to remember that part where they're naked and they started kissing. So you're waiting the whole time. You have your thing up the whole time, and you're like, caressing it, waiting for the right moment, and you're like, all right, it's a minute before that. Then you start doing it.
And
Right,
if you
right,
miss
right.
that,
It's like
you
20.
miss
Yeah,
that
if you miss
golden
that, yeah,
moment. Yeah, if you
you
miss
miss
that
that
golden
window.
moment, that's it. You
Right.
missed your
Yeah. I
time
mean,
to
you see,
chance.
movies. Um, they're just on, like in the bed doing bed scenes and whatnot, like doing the thing. Then all of a sudden there's a car chase. I mean, what will you do with
Yeah,
that? Like you're
yeah.
like, all right, oh, car chase, oh, car chase.
We don't want the car chase. Also, okay, who was in Basic Instinct with Sharon Stone? I'm trying to. Was it Michael Douglas?
Michael Douglas.
Okay, Michael Douglas is always in that stuff. Fatal Attraction. It was Michael Douglas, right?
Right.
Um, what else? He was in another one with Demi Moore. No,
Michael Douglas. No, that was Robert Redford.
no, 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 not
Striptease.
Indecent Proposal. He was in one with Demi Moore. It was
Ah,
like
yeah, yeah, all right. Is it Striptease? These are proposals, Robert Redford.
I think it was like a
Striptease
sexual
was
harassment thing. I think she was
sexual
like teasing
harassment.
him, and like he sexually, like I think she worked for him, and then like she set him up, and like something like that. I'm trying to recall. I don't really remember, but anyway, yeah.
Full
So those were,
disclosure,
yeah.
whatever.
Speaking of actors who made their name, their mark during the '90s. Okay, let's talk about actors. I don't think there was a bigger actor during the '90s than, let's say, oh God, what's his name? Kevin Costner. Kevin
Kevin
Costner.
Costner,
Everything he
he was
touched
popular.
during the '90s was gold.
Right,
And then
right.
like 2000s, '80s, we
Dude,
didn't know him. But
dude,
when the
Van
'90s
Damme.
came,
Van Damme
right?
was like a 90s
Jean
guy.
Claude
What are you
Van Damme,
talking about?
Steven
Yeah.
Seagal. Well,
Jean Claude, yeah.
Steven is like, yeah, Steven was like,
Jean Claude
yeah.
Van
Sort
Damme
of.
was,
But
you know,
Van Damme
like,
was the big one. Yeah, he was big.
yeah,
He was big.
Bloodsport, kickboxer,
Universal
um,
Soldier.
Double Impact, Universal Soldier,
What else?
Maximum Risk.
Uh,
And you know what? You know, this guy, Van Damme, like he's got these, like really sexy, sex symbol leading ladies, and he would always have a bed scene with them. Maximum Risk, that was with Natasha Henstridge,
yeah,
right?
she was hot. Very hot.
And Double Impact was with that like blonde who's like really pretty.
But we
And
all know that Natasha Henstridge made her mark on Species, right? That was
Species,
it was
yes,
in that
yes,
movie
yes,
where
yes,
that
yes, yes,
that
yes.
scene, right?
Right. See,
We didn't care if she was an alien.
that, for example, on cable TV, they would show it at 11, 12 midnight, and you're waiting for it, right?
Yeah,
And
yeah,
there's
yeah.
that sex scene, there's that bed scene before she becomes a monster. So I'm telling you, you have to come before she turns into a monster. I mean, how challenging is that? You don't know how heavenly your life is right now, kids. Like you have
Oh
all
yeah,
these
yeah, yeah.
porn sites available for you. We have to wait before Natasha Henstridge becomes a monster, or else that
Yeah,
would just,
yeah,
like,
exactly.
yeah, that would be a
And
terrible, terrible night for you.
and also like the bar hopping thing, like which
Yeah,
is what Mary Beth is mentioning. That's also, we'll talk about that too. That was like the lifestyle. So now we're talking about movies. All right, let's get the movies out of the way first. We can go back to the movies and stuff when somebody brings up another suggestion or another memory. Will Smith, was it the '90s that he made his mark?
yes,
Maybe
yes, I would
Independence
say
Day,
so.
right?
Independence
Independence Day
Day.
was probably the
I
first big
cried.
movie.
I
Which
cried
one?
watching that movie,
What?
Independence Day,
Yeah, I think it was Independence Day, and then
when Bill
Men in
Pullman made
Black.
that
Well, when
speech.
did Men in Black? Was it Men in Black 2000s already?
Oh, Men in Black, Men in Black.
I
We are
think Men in
Men
Black was
in Black.
2000s already. I think Wild Wild West was a flop, but I know that was like 2000s.
Wild Wild West was in the 2000s. I
Yeah.
could Men in Black. The part one could have been like what, late 90s.
Quick
Let's see.
trivia, by the
Let's check.
way. Quick
Let's
trivia.
check. Let's check.
And
Men
I'm not sure if this
in
is confirmed, but
Black
I
one.
remember seeing somewhere.
1997. See, late 90s.
Which
1997.
one?
Men in
Which
Black
one?
one. Part
Men in
one.
Black.
Men in
Okay.
Black. 97.
So it's supposedly, here's a trivia. Supposedly, the role of Neo in the Matrix was for Will Smith, right?
Yes.
And he turned it down because he was doing Wild Wild West.
Wild Wild West.
So can you imagine? I mean, Wild Wild West ended up being a flop. Can you imagine if he decided to go and do Neo for the Matrix series? I mean, he's already a big actor, but I'm saying I think it did more for Keanu Reeves it did more good for Keanu Reeves than damage for Will Smith, because Will Smith still became a big ass actor, but maybe for Keanu Reeves, maybe his well, he did Speed, right? Keanu did Speed.
He did Speed. He did
You
Speed.
know, he did other
This was
movies as well.
94, 93.
Yeah, and he was doing
94.
some
I think
drama movies
94.
and stuff. So he was okay. Yeah, they were, he was still around. I mean, yeah, but the Matrix was
94.
the one that really
94.
propelled him to like action star
Mhm.
status,
Mhm.
I think. And either way, if it ended up with Will Smith, then Will Smith would have gotten like all the good movies, the big movies back then, during the '90s. Because I don't recall Tom Cruise being too busy during the night. Was he? I know he did Days of Thunder, which was the NASCAR movie, and he did Far and Away with, I think, his then wife Nicole Kidman. But I'm trying to think of other Tom Cruise movies. Oh, Interview with the
No, he
Vampire.
was. He
I think
was.
that was '90s.
Yeah,
Interview with the
it was
Vampire
in the
was
90s.
'90s,
He was
right?
busy. Mission Impossible was
Jerry
back in
Maguire.
96. Jerry
Jerry
Maguire too.
Maguire. Okay, Jerry Maguire. Okay, so he was busy. All right, so those
He was
guys
busy.
were like, I guess, but nobody was busier than Kevin Costner.
Yeah, or Tom Hanks. What are you talking
Tom
about?
Hanks, that's
Philadelphia.
right.
Philadelphia. Forrest
Yeah,
Gump.
Tom Hanks.
Right?
When was Saving Private Ryan? Was that 2000s already?
No, that was in the 90s. I
Forrest Gump.
remember watching that with
When was Forrest
with my
Gump?
friends. All right, it could have been late 90s. All right, so private Saving Private Ryan 98. See, late 90s. What's 98? Saving Private Ryan.
Yeah,
A Pretty
what's the
Woman was in the early 90s.
what movie?
It, what like Pretty Woman.
Oh, Pretty Woman. Yeah. Pretty Woman.
It,
Yeah, so some
big.
of the
It
bigger
was very,
movies,
yeah, it was so big.
Shawshank Redemption 90s,
90s. Yes.
Armageddon. Armageddon was 90s. I thought that was 2000s. That's actually
No,
90s. Huh?
90s, man, 90s.
Armageddon was
Armageddon.
90s.
Hang on. It could no, it could be 2000.
No, it's 90s.
Armageddon.
1998. It's
98?
1998.
It is
1998.
98. It was Bandits 2001, 2002 Bandits. All right.
Ghost,
So
Jurassic Park, Batman. I mean, just pretty much all the Batmans that came before the new Batmans. Twister. I'm just looking at a list here.
Twister. I
Silence
love
of the
Helen Hunt.
Lambs.
I love Helen
Man.
Hunt.
Deep Impact was 90s, really?
Yes, I think it is. Deep Impact.
It was 98.
Deep Impact. 98 film. Yes.
The Matrix movie 7.
Dude, True Lies. What are you talking about? True Lies.
Oh yeah.
I love that
Sixth
movie.
Sense. Sixth Sense. Home Alone. Home Alone 2. I'm looking at a list here.
Are you sure Sixth Sense?
Fight Club. Sixth Sense was 90s. Sixth Sense. 1999.
99.
Barely made it. Barely made it.
99. Holy
Fight
crap.
Club.
Fight Club. Yes, I remember that.
Bodyguard. Speaking of Kevin
Bodyguard.
Costner, Bodyguard, Truman Show. One of those movies that had an equally big song, right? Can you name others that had equally big songs? Oh yeah, Titanic.
Right.
I was gonna say Tatay Nick.
Titanic.
Okay. What about this one? Which movie is this one from? Everything I do it for you.
Kevin Costner. I am gonna ping. Right.
Ow.
Panaon ti karon. Mamanaim na ning bataan.
I mean, if you say Indian Pana, that's different, right?
I know. So I mean,
Indian
it really brought me back. This is Indian Pana. This is like what, like an actual bow
and arrow.
right? Like a bow and arrow. Yeah.
I don't care. I don't know why they call it Indian Pana. It's an Indian with a pana, but it is not a pana.
Since we're talking about movies, then okay, who's the actor? Indian Pana Kana.
I know. That's
Who?
easy. Eddie Garcia.
Of course, yes.
Of course, I know that line. He always has this line. Si Manoy, right? Manoy always has
Manoy,
these lines.
I watched Enteng Manok.
I remember that line.
Enteng Manok.
I think he was like at the door or something, like trying to raid somebody. Wasn't he like?
So I really, I don't recall all his movies, but
okay,
all of like Boyong Manyalak. That was his movie.
Who was Jaime Labrador, Sacristan Mayor?
That's Raymart Santiago. Are you kidding me?
Why do you know
Raymart
that?
Santiago.
I don't even
Dude,
I'm not even a Raymart Santiago fan, but we know
I'm not a fan too. But
why do we know
for some
that?
reason, we remember.
Jaime Labrador, Sacristan Mayor. I'm like, why do we know that? I don't like. What the heck? I mean, yeah, Robin Padilla and his like Utol Kong Hudlum movies, right? That was big, right?
Yes.
What was the movie where there was a face swap? Face off. Right? Yeah. You remember his name there?
Castor Troy.
Exactly. But we don't know the name of the other guy, right? Like
John Archer.
John Archer. Okay. All right. You're done? Did you watch your butt?
Hang on. Could be John Archer or Sean Archer. Hang on.
No, Raj.
Castor Troy.
Because I'm gonna have to deal with you, and then don't. Yeah. So it's
Castor Troy.
No. It's John Archer and Castor Troy. John Archer and Castor Troy
versus John.
What was his name in because they made like a series of movies that did not really have a okay, speaking of busy actors during the 90s, Nicolas Cage, right?
Right. John Archer. Yeah, I was right.
Nicolas Cage, right?
Nicolas Cage.
Yeah, Nicolas Cage.
Con Air. Con Air was in the 90s.
Was it the 90s? What about The Rock? Was it 90s?
90s, my friend.
The Rock was 90s?
Con Air, 97. Con Air. The
What
Rock
about The
was,
Rock?
I think, 96, 98. Hang on.
Oh,
The
really? Wow.
Rock.
Okay.
The Rock film. Okay, here it is. 96. See? The Rock
Okay.
came
All right.
first
So Nicolas Cage was a busy
before Con
man.
Air. He was a
He
busy
was a
man.
busy man. He was a busy man. What? Something about Mary, The Fugitive.
Yes, there's something
Um,
about Mary.
Pierce
Cameron Diaz.
Brosnan was
Adam
James
Sandler.
Bond, pretty
No,
much
no, no,
till the
no, no.
90s.
What's his name? It's not
Um,
Adam Sandler. There's something about Mary. What's his name? Not Adam Sandler. Ben Stiller.
yeah,
Ben Stiller.
yeah, Ben
Ben Stiller.
Stiller. That was Ben Stiller. Notting Hill was 90s.
Oh
Space
man,
Jam.
that's my
Come on,
favorite.
right? Space Jam was 90s. What else? Clueless. I remember, you know what?
Clueless.
I remember
Alicia
seeing Clueless.
Silverstone. Yes.
I was in Germany at the time. This was 1995. I don't know if it's show. Let me check. I was 1995. Hold on. Clueless is
95.
19 1995.
That was
I was
before my freshman year in Ateneo.
yeah, I
So
was
I
in
know because the girls there were wearing Clueless outfits.
trying to be Alicia
Yes,
Silverstone, huh?
those dresses, like above the knee dresses. Holy
Yeah.
crap, man!
Really?
They
It
were
became a
rocking
fashion
it.
thing?
It became a fashion. Then those body fits. Holy crap!
Wow.
During Wednesdays at University Mall,
Man.
you
That
know,
was
like a lot of
this was
models would be ramping, like would
1995.
be
Yeah,
catwalking
this was the time I took
inside
a break.
University Mall.
I stopped school that year, and then I visited my dad in Germany, and there was an American community there, and they show American movies. And one of the movies we saw, I remember, was Clueless, and it was shown there. And there was something cool about Clueless for some reason at the time. I don't know. I mean, back in the day, here's the thing: back in the day, movies were kind of like universally appealing. Like it didn't matter if you were a guy or a girl. Like you would watch Titanic, like you would
Hmm.
watch a rom com, right? It didn't matter. Like it was like for everybody. Now it's more of like there's a thing where like a movie would be like, okay, it's a chick flick, or it's associated with like a man's movie, or you don't really expect very many female in the audience of like Rambo or something. But back then, movies were universal. Like even movies that had scenes that were not meant for children were seen by children because it was so popular. Like Rambo, right? Like Rambo is uber violent, but we saw that as kids. We were pretending we were Rambo when we were kids. I mean,
Yes.
but you're not supposed to be watching that stuff. The Sandra Bullock movie that involved a comatose man. Forgot the title. Oh, Iceman.
While
That's
you were
it.
sleeping, while you were sleeping.
There you go. That's pretty easy to describe, right? The plot.
Right.
It's a
Yeah.
very
Bill
easy
Pullman
plot.
was the leading guy. I
Yeah,
mean,
because the other guy was comatose the whole time.
yeah. So yeah, Bill Pullman's the brother, I think.
Yeah, he was a brother. He was a brother. I don't like. Was that what that entire movie was about?
I think so.
He
They
was
got to
just
know
like
each
the brother
other.
was comatose and the other one took over. Is that what that was about?
I think so. I think the
Um,
could have been like the comatose man was kind of like thinking of breaking up with her. That could have been it, and like it all played out the way he wanted it to be. I'm not sure. I don't remember, but I know there's that movie. Bill Pullman was the brother. Then yeah, it could. I don't even remember who the woman is. Then it could be Sandra Bullock because the brother was like Jennifer Connelly was hot. Okay, all right, so it's a different thing. All right, but yeah,
yeah.
could
She was in
check Google
Rocketeer. I'm
for
trying
crying
to
out loud.
recall what other movie she was in when she was still hot. Like, I know she's in Rocketeer.
While you were
That's
sleeping.
pretty much it
Yes,
for
it's
Jennifer
Sandra
Connelly.
Bullock, Bill Pullman. Yeah, while you were sleeping, I'm correct. So it's Sandra Bullock
Yeah,
and
but Bill Pullman
Bill
was
Pullman.
also like in a lot of movies back then, but he wasn't
Yes,
really like the
Independence
main
Day.
guy. He was kind of like this, like
Casper. He was in Casper, right? Was he the father in Casper?
dude, wasn't he the president in
Yes,
Independence Day?
in Independence Day. Yes,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
like
he
Bill
was in
Pullman.
Casper. Yes, I think he was in Casper. He was
Yeah,
the
I
dad.
like him. I like him.
Yeah,
Until now, I still like him.
he's very cool. Like he's kind of like he has like a sort of like a geeky kind of
Yeah,
thing about
Jennifer
him. But
Connelly. I thought that she was gonna be big because like Demi Moore was big, and she kind of looks like Demi Moore, younger
with
version,
nicer
right?
boobs.
Yeah, but then she never really, you know what I'm saying? Like she never really hit that
Yeah,
status.
that too. I was thinking like I'm trying to recall if she had other movies besides
Ghost, Demi Moore in a short haircut.
yeah, Demi was like I think that was like one of the peak of her stardom was Ghost, I think. And then she did GI Jane,
Oh,
and then
my
she did
love,
Scarlet Letter. She got naked there in that one.
Scarlet,
Scarlet Letter.
Scarlet Letter.
Scarlet Letter, yeah, she got naked there. And
I have not
Indecent
seen it.
Proposal.
Indecent
Indecent
Proposal
Proposal must
and
have been like
Striptease. She did Striptease.
stri-
I think
she did
that's
okay,
in the
striptease as
90s.
well.
Striptease.
Striptease
Let's
as
see.
well. So there are a lot of these
Strip.
movies that came out that we didn't really understand why these plots were being introduced, but it's kind of like risque. It was kind of like drama. It was kind of like trying to figure out
96. Striptease was 96.
what the theme was during the 90s, but it was a mishmash, that's for sure. And people
Nudity
still
was
went
the
to
theme.
theaters. Where did you watch the movies the most during the 90s? If you could, like, Victoria
Victoria
Plaza?
Plaza. Victoria
Victoria
Plaza.
Plaza?
Yeah.
All
And
right.
then late 90s, JS Gaisano Ilustre.
Yeah.
They have new cinemas there. So I was like,
Yes,
all
it's
right,
been.
let's try it
All
out.
right.
Like,
All right.
cool, like very nice air conditioning.
Yeah.
And yeah, not a lot of people go there. So it's like, yeah, it's a perfect place.
All right.
Smells
So
good, clean.
career opportunities. I remember now Jennifer Connelly. Like, I don't even remember that movie. I remember Empire Records, right?
Empire
That was
Records? Who
the
was in it?
one with Liv Tyler, I think. I
Empire
never met a
Records.
girl like you
You
before. Ding,
before
ding,
dun,
ding,
dun, dun.
ding, ding,
I
ding,
haven't
ding,
seen
ding,
this
ding, ding,
movie. I
ding.
know I heard of it. I have not
I've
seen
never
it.
seen that movie too. I think that was Ethan Hawke. I don't know if Ethan Hawke was there. Empire Records.
Hang on, let's see.
I never met a
Liv
girl like
Tyler.
Liv Tyler, right?
There's this guy from Can't Hardly Wait. What's that dude's name? Um then there's this girl from The Mentalist. The like agent, what's her name?
Yeah.
Uh
Empire Records has a good soundtrack.
Lisbon, Agent Lisbon.
Yeah.
Right.
Was Stay in the movie? Stay? You
Stay?
say
I don't
you're
think so.
stuck when I want
I don't
to.
think
I
so.
think that's in an Ethan. Was
I
that
think
not in an
that's
Ethan Hawke movie?
it was I think it is an
Reality
Ethan Hawke
Bites.
movie.
Reality
Reality
Bites, I
Bites
think. Was
with
it?
Winona
Was it?
Ryder, right?
Yes, I think it was. Yeah. I think that song was in that movie, Reality Bites. I think so.
And before sunset or before sunrise, what was it? Before sunrise or before sunset?
The first
Which
one was,
came
I think,
first?
before sunset, and then the next one
Before
was before
sunset, right?
sunrise.
So all
Wait,
right,
hold
that
on.
I think
Maybe
that
it's
was
the
in
other
the
way around.
90s.
I don't know.
That was in the 90s before sunset.
Yeah, and
Before hang on. Before
and she got
sun. No,
naked in the
it's
third
before
one.
sunrise.
She
It's
got
before
naked in the
sunrise,
third
man.
one, right? Was it the third one? There was one where she went topless.
No, I think it's no, the second one, Before Sunset. Before Sunset was the second film, which was released in 2004. Before Sunrise was released 1995.
Okay. Wow, that's like 10 years, right? I guess
And
it's like a
that's
decade.
before midnight, or was it after? Well, what's the third one? There's
I know there's a
there's
third one.
yeah. The third one was like they were already I don't know, like
Did
us.
they even end up together? I'm trying to recall if
They got married, like, okay, I think they finally got married after the second one. Then the third one is about, like, about their marriage.
USB, I think, right? You have to download it again. Yeah. All right. So we'll set the movies aside for now. Let's talk about music, and then we'll talk about fashion afterwards, because we want to try to cover as much as we can. We still have TV shows to do. We still have, like, commercials to do. So what about what are we talking about now? Fashion, right? What were you dressed up as, Ice? What was your typical college, maybe later high school, early college outfit? What was going on in your wardrobe? I mean, were you particular with brands? You were not a rocker? I'm assuming you're
Checkered
not a rocker.
shirts. So I mean polo, right? Checkered shirts. They're actually shirts. I don't know
Like
why
the
we call it
3-button
polo.
polos, or like the polo,
No, that's the
shirt, or
polo
like the
shirt, like
polo.
the shirt, like, Well, I don't know why we call it. See, that's the thing. In the Philippines, we say polo shirt. Polo shirt if it's like a shirt, and polo shirt, yeah. And if
Yeah.
it's just like that, that's like a polo.
I
But
know.
actually, it's a shirt.
It's a shirt.
'Cause this
The,
one's a t-shirt,
the polo shirt is just called a polo,
right? I know.
right?
So
Yeah,
it's
the
kind of
polo
hard
shirt is
to,
just called a polo.
yeah. And with these people from Australia, from America, so I have to, like, all right. When they say shirt, I'm thinking, because in the Philippines, when we say shirt, it's like synonymous with t-shirt. But for them,
Yeah.
shirt is just like the one with the buttons. That's
Yeah,
a
that's
shirt,
a shirt. They call
right?
that
And this
that's a
was a
shirt. Yeah.
t-shirt. So it's kind of like, anyway. So yeah, shirt, checkered shirts. I had those. They were like
Yeah.
big in the mid-90s, checkered shirts.
Yeah. Do you remember where you
Then,
got your clothes from? Or did you shop at a
all right,
particular
okay.
place? Was it a particular
During our
brand?
hard times, my mom would like pick out clothes at the ukay ukay. That was actually
Okay.
intentionally for like my dad. Then we would just, like, because it fits us, so we'd like wear it.
Was
But
there a
then,
spot, an okay spot that you frequented?
look, my mom's like really good with these okay places. Like she knows where to, like where to go and where to get the nice stuff, the good stuff. So it was pretty okay. But then when I was in college, life was good at that time. So yeah, Giordano, jeans and those. I didn't have the classics, but I had those frogs
Yeah,
polo.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah, that was like woo. My parents could afford it at that time.
Those were
Then
probably more expensive, right?
I
The
don't know.
Frogwell.
Probably not so much.
There's
Well,
even
it
one.
could have
There's
been
even one too.
slightly
That's like
expensive, but
that's like a seal. It's like a shield or something logo. They also have that option
yeah, I
for
think so. Yeah.
Giordano,
I just had
if
the,
I'm not
the
mistaken. But I
Giordano
remember the
frog, not the
frog.
classics.
And then I don't know if Bossini was a cheaper alternative, but Bossini was kind of like Giordano, but
It
it wasn't
is. It
quite.
is.
Like
Mhm,
almost Giordano, but not quite. But the quality wasn't there. And then there was Baleno, which was I think the cheaper brand,
mhm.
right? If I'm not mistaken. I was a Giordano Classics guy. If I could have all my shirts, there were actually, I think there was a time when I actually like put like black marker on that guy because I just wanted the black shirt because I just like the comfort. I just love the fabric of the Giordano
Right.
Classic shirt. It was so freaking comfortable. I didn't care about that
Was
guy.
it?
Like I wasn't after that. I just wanted
And
a
you can
clean.
tell too. The original Giordano classics had, like you can tell from the color, from the neck, because the fake ones would be like this, would be really tight. The originals were, like it would,
Yeah, yeah,
you know,
yeah, 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 yeah.
the
Yeah,
original.
there was
It
a.
would be like
You
you
did
got
have the
raped or
Japik
something.
ones. The Japik ones, the collar was kind of like thick.
Like,
Yeah,
yeah,
it was
so
like thick.
intact, thick, and
It was
like all
thick.
right,
It's like yeah,
fake.
you knew right away. You knew right away. That's
The
true.
ones
That's true.
that would, make you look like you got raped was like, all right,
Yes,
that's
yes, the
legit,
original. Yeah, yeah, yeah. You're right. You're right. The low ones. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
right?
You're
And
right. You're right.
Levi's, jazz up your Levi's.
Yeah, everybody. Okay,
501
you know,
button
you know what
fly.
I wanted the Levi's variant the jeans that I wanted that I never got
What?
silver tab. Because the Levi silver tab when it came out, silver tab I think had a softer fabric. So can you?
Master, no, not Master Yoda. Flip mode. He was rocking those silver tabs in college. That guy's
Yeah,
rich.
yeah, silver tab. Silver tab was like it was for me. That was like kind of like a softer fabric. It wasn't like thick denim, and it looked quite formal in a way.
Most of my clothes back in the 90s were from Oshkosh Bigosh.
Yeah, you were a
Yeah,
baby
because you're a
man.
kid.
You were a kid.
Yes, of
You're a kid.
course. Hey,
Yeah,
you want to
you're a
wear
kid.
like a Giordano Classics?
Absolutely.
I
Oshkosh
remember, all right,
Stella.
because my
Stella.
aunt is
Oshkosh
listening,
Bagak.
right? Oshkosh Bigosh. Anyway,
Yeah.
because my aunt is listening. Um, okay, this was like, like hard life, then, like college life was like a little bit easy because my dad was like, making money at that time, but there was like that in the middle. So it was like, like that time in the middle. So this was like in the 90s. So mid 90s. Like my aunt was already working, right? So she's like a sister to me. So I would always like, oh, can you like buy me pants? And she was like, all right, I'll buy you pants. But she couldn't buy me. She couldn't buy me the Levi's pants because that would be too expensive. I'm not the kid. I'm just like the pamangkin. So I
Yeah,
was
yeah,
like,
yeah.
all right, okay. At least can we get a Jag? So there's that Jag store at University Mall. Do you remember that?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
There's a Jag store there.
I
So
think I do.
my
Yes, yes,
auntie,
yes.
so my auntie took me there, and I bought my first legit jeans. That's not patahi. You know
Yeah,
what
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
saying?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
that was the
If there's a
first
brand.
one.
There's a
Right.
brand.
So
Yeah.
so she picked it out for me. Like she was our fashion guru. Like we'd always ask her, like, oh, is this nice? Is this okay? Because she just like finished college in Ateneo at that time. So like so we look
She was
up to
one of
her.
the
It's like,
cool.
all right.
Yeah, she was like a
She's one of the
cool
cool
kid.
kids
She
in
was like a
Ateneo,
cool
right?
kid,
Yeah.
and like now an
So she
adult,
was our
right?
fashion guru. And like we asked her opinion, like, oh, is this okay? And she's like, all right, that's fine. Or probably she was just like, like, yeah, I don't want to buy you a Levi's. Yeah, Jag's fine. She was wearing Levi's.
Yeah, Levi's were expensive. Levi's were
I know,
expensive.
right? She
I
bought me a
remember
Jag.
when I first started like when I got my first 501s. I remember I think at the time it was around 900 or maybe already almost 1,000, and then it became 1.2 and then it became 1.5. So you'd have to settle for the 505s or the 503s, which were around like 700 or whatever. So, the 501s really got expensive. That's why when you wore your 501s, you always had it folded out. So everybody knew, because you might not have your shirt might not be insert, so no one will see its button fly. But I think
Butterfly.
for a while Silver Tab also had button fly. They did
Mhm.
some button fly jeans as well, though that's supposed to be exclusive to 501s only. So people would always wear their 501s like it's like folded out, so you could see the stitching, because it's only the 501 that has that separate thing stitching. And I remember wearing DMs with that. So yeah, I remember the first time I saw DMs, the first time I saw Doc Martens during the 90s, I saw it being worn by the late Carlo Asistido, because his girlfriend at the time was attending ballet classes. She had ballet classes at Loxin Dance Studio in along Quirino. Was it Quirino? Yeah, I think it was in Quirino. And then at the same time, I had a girlfriend too who was teaching ballet classes in Quirino. So we both would be picking up our girlfriends, and he came in, and I remember when I saw his Doc Martens, they were cherry red. He had the cherry red ones, so these really stood out. I was like, man, that looks cool, and it had airwear on it and stuff. And I asked him, he was always fashion forward. And I asked him, bro, where'd you get the shoes? Like, what brand are those? Because I've never heard of Doc Martens, even though I lived in the States and I probably had classmates who wore them. I was just not part of the punk scene. And I asked him, and he said, padala ng tita from the States. It's Doc Martens, blah, blah, blah. And I didn't hear about it after that. And then my girlfriend, who was teaching ballet, one of the ballet instructors at Luxin, who was still going to Ateneo at the time. She was still a student, but she was already, teaching ballet. Her dad sent her money because her dad was like a captain of barco or something. Sent her money, and she bought DMs. Like, she had DMs before I did. Like, I didn't even care. And then she had DMs. She had Doc Martens. She had like a 6-hole, the boots ones, and she was wearing that all the time. And then she was one of the first ones to have DMs in Ateneo. But she was in Ateneo a year ahead of me because I wasn't able to take the NCE right away. So when I entered Ateneo, she already had DMs. That's when the DMs, everybody was like going crazy for Doc Martens at the time. It wasn't sold in a lot of places, but it was available. If you're hoping that your size was available, if you could buy it, but it was expensive. I mean, even back then, Doc Martens were like 6,000 plus. If I remember it correctly, they were like 6,000 or 4,000 probably. The cheapest you could get was like maybe 4,900. And back in the 90s, 4,900, 6,900, that was a lot of money already. So everybody was like wearing DMs, which is kind of funny because, like I said, we're a tropical country and you're wearing boots to school. But for some reason, it didn't matter. And DMs were heavy too. DMs were heavy. And then they had the fake DMs, which the sole was like, you could tell the sole wasn't jelly like. I don't know what the brands were. I think W Brown made some. Did right? Right? Oh, you're muted.
Yes, they did.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
tried to make a knockoff. I mean, it's not really a
Yeah.
total knockoff, but because it's W Brown, but the design was meant
Yeah.
to
Like they
copy
copied even the
Doc Martens.
sole.
Yes,
Yeah,
yeah.
the sole style. But
Sucked.
but it wasn't jelly like. It was like just like plastic, brown, like brown
Yes.
plastic. So it didn't look too comfortable. And but yeah, I guess like that was what I would ask my parents for. Ma, buy me this. Bob, send me money for this. So my dad eventually, and then Birkenstock. I don't know if it became that popular, but my dad sent me like a couple of pairs of
They have a
Birkenstock.
pair. They have a pair downstairs.
Yeah, and I don't know who started that Birkenstock thing, but it did become popular,
We're
and
talking
some
about
people,
sandals, right?
yeah,
Not
sandals. Some
shoes.
people
All
wore
right.
it with
Yeah, yeah.
socks.
I have
And
that.
this was the time when my dad was in Germany, and I don't know if Birkenstock is made in
Birkenstock.
Germany, but he did send me
It's still
a couple.
expensive up until now.
It is still expensive.
Because my
It's
wife's
still
a fan,
expensive.
so I think she has like about 3 pairs. But so she bought me one. I was like, no, I don't want. I don't want that. It's too expensive. Like
Yeah,
it would still cost you around like okay, if I convert it in peso, that would be around all right 4 or 5 thousand
it's still
for a
expensive.
pair of sandals,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
I mean, Islander. How much is an Islander?
I don't like 100, 200 pesos, maybe 300. I don't really know.
See, I
Right
can wear an
now, I don't know.
Islander. That
But
wouldn't
back then,
bother
that
me.
was popular, huh? Islander
Islander,
was
yeah,
popular.
it's
Like
also
the
popular.
thick ones,
Islanders,
the
yeah,
thick
the thick
ones, right?
ones.
You know what I'm talking
Yeah,
about? The thick ones.
I
I
know,
bought
I
I bought a
know.
pair of those. I remember. like it was thick, and then there was like a strap at the back or something, and like it
Right,
was
right.
like right.
But then with
Um,
Birkenstock, guys would like wear it with socks, right? Shorts and
yeah,
socks.
it didn't wear it with jeans. I remember wearing
Yeah.
it with jeans. I would wear it with jeans.
Holy crap.
And then you wear it with socks, which is funny. But my when my dad sent me Birkenstocks, I
Pamashal,
didn't even care
pamashal.
about it yet. It wasn't popular yet. It wasn't popular yet when my dad sent them to me, because I guess because they were cheap in Germany and he was based in Germany, so he sent me a couple of pairs, and I remember like maybe after a year or less than a year, I think I saw Andrew E wear Birkenstocks, and then I think I saw the Guapings wear Birkenstocks. So it started to be like a celebrity thing. Like I think when you watch Palibasa Lalaki, sometimes they're wearing Birkenstocks on the set. So I was like, okay, cool. So the Birkenstock, it's actually cool. That's when I started wearing mine. But it was like kind of later. Okay, long hair. What about long hair? Well, that's kind of fashion too, right? Hair's fashion. Piercings. Ice, did you ever get a piercing? Did you
Never,
really?
never.
You were able to resist the temptation?
No,
Were
because
you
I
ever even
told you,
tempted?
I'm that kind of kid. No tattoos, no drinking, no smoking. Piercings like a big no no. My brother in Canada, who pierced his left ear or right ear, but one of his ears, but um he came home with it. I was so upset. I was like, "What the heck? What are you doing that for?" And I'm liberal, but in a way, I'm conservative,
Yeah.
which is really stupid. But like at that point, it was like I tend to judge people with with these things.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I
Like, all right,
understand. I get where you're coming from.
you look like an addict. Like it has nothing to do with like drug addiction or whatever. I mean,
Yeah,
what
yeah,
if
yeah.
people just want to have
The one earring
earring and
thing?
whatever? Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah.
No,
I was
but
like,
see, I think maybe during your time, it was already kind of like it wasn't that big anymore. It wasn't the beginning of it, because one of the pioneers of that was Michael Jordan, and a lot of celebrities had that done. I think George Michael. Well, George Michael ended up being gay, but I mean,
yeah,
like,
everybody. Yeah,
like
I think everybody. Because oh no,
it
all the
wasn't
people I
really like
know
an
they
addict
have.
thing anymore. It became more like a
No,
fashion
it was a
statement.
fashion, but still, I would say that's like an addict thing. That
Oh,
was me
really?
saying
Okay,
that. So
okay.
that's why I said it's stupid, because all
Yeah,
my
yeah,
friends
yeah,
were doing that. Like Master Yoda had it.
yeah.
All the Romel had it. Like
Yeah,
Lumanlan.
celebrities had it.
Yeah,
Like
right.
the male
Yeah,
celebrities I
Richard
know, like
Gomez.
yeah, they all had it. Yeah.
That's why Master Yoda's guy was Richard Gomez. Like you'd always like, oh, you have like one earring here, and you'll have like a long sleeve, and you fold it. Yeah, you're like, okay, you look like Richard Gomez and whatnot. I'm like, in my head, it's like, adik, adika, adik.
See, see,
That
that's
was the
that's
stupid me. That was the
no, no,
stupid
no.
me.
But I'm impressed, because I mean, if I could turn back the clock and not have my ear, but not that it matters, because it's pierced, but it's closed
I know,
already.
right? If you
I don't.
think about it, see, I
Yeah, if
mean,
I go
it
back in
doesn't
time,
matter
I
if you
wouldn't have
did.
had, I wouldn't have done it. But I just like gave into peer pressure. I just gave into like what was same with the tattoo. Like I have a tattoo, so like I got this during the '90s, and I got the tattoo mainly because like my friends had a tattoo. I remember. I think I had the tattoo before Romel got it. Romel
Oh,
Lumanlan like
really?
had a tattoo later. He had the Joker tattoo. I remember we were hanging
Yeah.
around during that time.
Was Joker the
Jericho,
colored one already? Because
yeah,
he had a
his was
colored one,
colored. His was
and
colored.
everybody
His
was
was
like,
colored. He
"Wow,
had the
it's
Joker
colored."
that
So
was
everybody was
colored.
like, "Oh,
Yeah,
it's
the
like
Joker
let's
killing
get
joke. I remember he
tattoos."
was
People
hanging
were
out of
saying
my
that.
house when he got that first. He was hanging out of my house,
See, we have
and
that connection. Ramel was my classmate in fourth year, and you were already hanging out
really,
together. I
yeah,
know,
we were
right?
hanging
We
out.
have that
He would go to my house.
connection.
Yeah, he would go to my house. He
Holy
was like
shit!
younger than me, but it didn't matter. I was hanging out with younger
I
guys,
don't
older
know
guys. It
you,
didn't
but we
matter.
kind of know each other because of Ramel. He
Yeah,
was
yeah,
like
yeah,
our, he was our connection.
yeah, yeah, yeah. He
So
was
now I
thin as
see your
rails.
pictures. Like I think Ramel posted like a picture.
Yeah, skateboard.
Um,
We were like
yeah, yeah,
skateboarding.
and you were together, and it
we
was
were
like,
like we were
crap.
like
They were hanging out during
we
this
were
time. I don't even know you at that time. I was like,
we
what? We're
were we were
friends.
we
And
were
Ramel,
hanging
like, I
out.
don't really hate him, but he was like one of those guys that kind of like, oh,
Bugoy, bugoy,
this guy's a
bugoy,
bully. Yeah,
bugoy.
he was bugoy.
He
So I mean, he
was.
did. He
He's a
he respected me. I
pew pew
respected him.
pew.
But he was just like he would like bully a lot of kids in school, and I'm like, he's
Yep.
friends with this guy.
Yeah.
Like,
He,
yeah, you
he
were a bully too. I forgot you were a
No,
bully.
I wasn't. I mean, I would probably think, yeah, he probably was a bully because he was younger than me and he was hanging out with us. You know what I'm saying? Like,
That's
if
true.
you're hanging out with older guys, yeah, you must be like you must be like bullying the kids your age, because if you could hang with the older guys, he was already drinking, he was already not going home, he was already, I mean, He was playing the guitar better than I was at that age.
And
he was
I see the
smoking.
yes, I see the common denominator with you both.
What, the Lola's boy?
No, no, no. Yeah, was he a Lola's boy?
I think he's close to his Lola as well. I think he was living with his Lola at the time. I think he was,
He's a
or in his Lola's
girlfriend
house.
guy. He's a girlfriend guy. He's
Yeah,
bugoy, but
yeah,
he's a girlfriend guy.
yeah, yeah.
He
He is,
can't
he
live
is,
without
yeah.
a girlfriend.
And our difference is, or at least during that time, well, even now, I don't know. I think he's still a big. He was a shades guy. A lot of the guys back
Yeah.
then were Wayfarer dudes.
Yes,
Everybody
he's
was
a
wearing
Wayfarer. Yeah, I
Wayfarers. I
remember
was the
that. Like
only
he's
one who
wearing
like I
Wayfarer.
couldn't care less about Way. I don't know why,
Yeah,
because I
yeah, I
always felt
remember
like
that.
I
I
might just
remember that.
leave them somewhere or sit on it.
True.
All my
True.
friends had Wayfarers.
Wayfarers.
And I remember I only had I remember the first time like I spent money on eyeglasses was the brand Police. Remember that brand Police? It was like
Police.
Police.
Of all the brand police,
Nobody remember
it
that.
should have been Oakley.
I mean,
Yeah, I know.
no,
Of course, of course. Police was
this was
big too.
before Oakley
Police
blew
was
up. But
big
this
too.
was
Yeah,
like
yeah, I know, I know.
because my
Police was
friend
big
Jepoy,
too.
they own an optical, right? And this guy did the
Right.
sales stock on me. He's like, I don't know, like I think he like he just like took the freaking sunglasses from the display without asking permission, and he was selling it to me cheap, like under the table, like buy this. And I'm not really like I don't wear shades, but he was like selling it to me really cheap because they just like stole it from their
Police.
store, from their optical.
I know.
And I'm like,
Police.
okay, whatever,
Yeah,
So
a lot of people wore that, but I mean,
Police.
I
It was
wasn't.
like
I
one of
didn't
those like
have. I didn't have
wacky
police.
looking things, but
Yeah, yeah.
it was either Ray-Ban, Police, or
Mm.
Oakley. And Oakley
Oakley.
wasn't that
Yes.
big yet then. Oakley became big maybe during your time. That was the time when Oakley came out with a really kick-ass. But there was no Rudy Project yet. There was no Oakley was there, but it
Rudy
wasn't that
Project.
big
Rudy
yet.
Project came out around when I was in first year, second year
2000s already, I
college.
think. Oh, okay, much later. All right. But yeah, I remember that. And now I look at Police and I see it like at Victoria Plaza. I'm like, that's
Okay,
like
answer this, Rod. Which is more popular, Wayfarers or Aviators?
Here it was Wayfarers. It was
True.
Wayfarers, I think, because
And
the
during my
Aviators,
time too.
yeah,
My time,
Wayfarers.
our time,
It,
Wayfarer.
it
Because
was
Aviators were like my dad's time.
yes, yes, yes.
My dad had those Aviators.
Pangninong
Yeah,
Aviator because the Aviators like the rim has like a hook, like right,
exactly.
and
Right,
the Ninogs would always
Pantigulang.
put it here, and you would always
Yes,
know it's an
yes,
Aviator because it had a hook.
yes.
It was like
It's like
like this.
what's the deal with
So
these things, right?
yeah,
I
we
was
call
like,
it like
oh, so
Ninong,
tigulang. So
Pangninong,
when the
right?
Wayfarers came out, it's like, wow, cool.
Yeah,
But
it was more
Wayfarers,
age appropriate. It
yeah,
was more age appropriate. Jepoy had the folding one. I kind of like, oh, that's cool because
yeah.
he
I
had the
had a
folding.
classmate who had that one, like
Yes,
the
like you
folding
can
one.
fold it
Yes,
and put it in your
I had a
pocket.
classmate who had that one. Yeah, you can put it in your
So
pocket,
that's what he.
then
That's
sit
what
on
he had
it, then
because
you
they own an
cry.
optical. So you could always pick out the best ones. And
I
remember
think Tom Cruise made it popular, right? Because in the 80s, Top Gun was in the 80s, right? And Tom Cruise was rocking that Aviator.
what are you talking about? Tom Cruise?
Top Gun.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Tom
Tom
Cruise.
Cruise.
Yeah.
Top
No,
Gun.
yeah. Top Gun was like 80s. Top Gun was 80s. Yeah, he
Yeah,
did.
it was
I think he
rocking that
rocked it.
Aviator.
Yeah, he rocked it in Top Gun. It looked really cool on him. And yeah, that's why now, and of course it made a comeback. So with Patrick asking, is Aviators? Yeah, now probably Aviators. I think it's made a comeback, and a lot of celebrities wear Aviators. A lot of ladies wear Aviators. For some reason, it just made a comeback, and nobody's not really wearing Wayfarers anymore. But I feel like the Wayfarers might make a comeback. But back then, too, another thing that was popular were caps, starter caps.
Yeah. Star
What
caps.
what other brands were there? But they were like just basically
Yeah.
cap. Ninanakaw. If you ride a
Ninanakaw,
jeep,
talo. Bay,
right?
gitalo ako. Kalo, bay,
Yeah,
gitalo.
you,
Talo. They,
you ride
that's
the
the term.
jeep,
Talo.
boom.
Boom, talo. Gitalo.
And a lot of some guys have imported hats. You can just buy hats now. Like back in the day, they were hard to find. Like you had to go to Narada or you had to go to
Dude, people would
uh,
actually,
Albedinco.
would kill for starter caps back then. Because I
Yeah, yeah,
remember
yeah,
in Holy
yeah.
Child, this was a Saturday, and it was one of Romel's friends, right? So his school friends in Holy Child. So this was right after lunch, but this was a Saturday. So we had lunch at one of the carinderias in Jacinto. Then right after lunch, we were going back to school, and his friend who was like sitting at the waiting shed by himself, probably waiting for his other friends, or probably
Yeah.
waiting for Romel for that matter. He was sitting there, and there were other guys who came, and I thought he was with them because they kind of look alike, the
Yeah.
fashion and whatnot, like this
Yeah,
bugoy bugoy, right? So that guy
yeah,
was a little bit bugoy bugoy as well. So the guys who came close to him had that vibe too, like the Ramel vibe, like his vibe. So I was like,
Yeah,
they're
yeah,
probably friends because in the beginning they sat beside him,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
And they pretended they were like talking to him. So what I saw was he kind of like took off his cap and put it on his knee and like holding it.
Okay.
You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah.
Like then all of a sudden they kind of just like pulled it and started punching him.
Oh
Then all of a
crap.
sudden I think Ramel and some of the other guys came, as well as the upperclassmen who were
Yeah.
there, and like, what's happening?
Talk
What's
about.
happening? What's going on? Somebody took my cap, and I think this was like the time when Lagoon, like that Lagoon gang was kind of like or BIL, I don't know, I can't really remember. There's this
Yeah.
gang in school that's like, all
In your
right,
school.
he's a member of it, so they
Yeah.
started like running after the guys who took the cap. I don't know, for some reason I started running too. I wasn't involved, but for some reason, I found myself
Bulabog,
running.
bulabog.
Dude, no, I was running towards the guys who took it, but I wasn't running beside the guys who were
Oh,
running
okay. You're
after
going
them.
after. You're going.
Yeah, I was going after them, but in a way that it would be like a reporter type of running
Yeah,
after
yeah.
the
You just
guys.
wanted to see
I
what's
wasn't
going on.
involved. I just wanted, yeah, I wanted to know what was going
Yeah.
on. Chismoso, like right.
Yeah.
I was like, I didn't know why I did that. I could have been in
Did they
trouble,
catch the
right?
guy?
I don't know. I mean, I don't remember. I don't remember. But we
Yeah.
ran as
But
far as the like like, okay, this was in Jacinto, right? We ran as
yeah.
far as like what place is Fatima, around that area? Like, was
Oh,
it
yeah, that's
Pia?
kind of
No,
far.
it's
Yeah.
not even
Was it
Piapi. It's like
Piapi? Like
no. This
Guerrero?
was going to,
Not Guerrero.
no,
No,
it's
no.
not Guerrero. It's like this was going to the
Jacinto? Oh no, that's Jacinto. If you ran,
Suaso. Is it Suaso? It could be Suaso, or I don't know.
probably,
But that area
probably.
right there, around that area,
That's pretty
Fatima,
far, huh?
Jacinto,
Yeah, that's
it was
Aurora.
pretty
Yeah,
far.
yeah, yeah,
That
yeah.
was a lot of running, man. That was a lot of
Yeah,
running. I
yeah.
don't
That guy
even now.
probably crossed the street and went to Boulevard. That guy's probably from SeaWorld, Bukana, wherever
Probably.
the heck he's from.
Holy shit! That was
Yeah,
like,
but I witnessed a
saw
lot of
that. I
that. Like
saw that.
witnessed a lot of that where guys would be sitting in the Jeep with their caps and then boom, like some guy would just run and like they can't, like they're shocked, like you know. But that's
Right.
it. So that it was called talo. That's what it
Talo.
was called.
Yeah.
Talo. All right, talo. Kung yeah. I never experienced it. Thank God. I wasn't. Nobody ever held a gun at me or a knife to get my cap. But I gave some of mine away, so it wasn't a big deal to me. When I came back, I had some caps from the States, so like it wasn't a
Right.
big deal. But
You gave it.
apparently here,
You gave it
it was a
away.
big
You
deal,
gave it away.
especially
Right.
if it's a Chicago Bulls cap.
Yes.
Everybody wanted the
Yes.
Chicago Bulls merch. That was the thing back
Chicago,
then.
Chicago,
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 yeah. Everybody was
Chicago.
wearing Bulls. That was the thing. The Lakers, how popular the Lakers are now, that was how the Bulls were back then. For those that don't remember, cassette tapes. Okay, some of the things that we spent our money on, cassette tapes. Yeah, I remember this. I used to buy my cassette tapes at. I'm not gonna mention anymore because I'm gonna get in trouble. I used to buy I used to buy my cassette tapes at Alamar's. Alamar's na lang, Alamar's.
BCS. Come on, man. I
Alamar.
mean, there's nothing
Yeah.
to it. It's
I used
like
to buy my cassette tapes at Alamar's and at Victoria Plaza.
Alan
And
Mars.
and remember
Not even
like
JS. JS had a nice recording store there. JS Gaisano,
yes, JS.
right?
It's like right after the food court. Like when you go
Yes,
in,
yes,
right?
yes,
That path,
yes.
it's on the right side.
Right,
It's on the right side.
right,
I remember
yes,
there was a poster of Francis M or something there. It was like
yes, yes,
yeah,
yes,
I
yes,
remember
yes,
that.
yes.
That was
Place.
on the right side. Yeah, you're right. You're
Oh
right.
man, nostalgia '90s.
But
Holy
the
crap!
funny
I
the
want to
funny
go back
thing
to
is,
that time.
I don't even know why I was buying tapes because I came home from the US. I had a bunch of CDs, but like I said, my friends all borrowed it. I never got them back, and it was expensive already at the time for me to buy because in the States I was working. So what's $10 to me back then, right? That's 2 hours work. Here it was like CDs are like 500. So I ended up buying like tapes, and I remember even
Yeah,
spending
because
like
they would cost around 100 plus, 120,
yeah, 100 plus. And if you
115.
buy the deluxe, sometimes there were the double tapes. Like the
Yes, that
Smashing
would cost you
Pumpkins
around
came out with a
150,
double album,
180. That's what
Melancholy
I
and Infinite
gave.
Sadness.
That's what I gave Eric. Like
Melancholy,
Eric.
Smashing Pumpkins.
Yeah. Because Christmas party, he was my manito, so it was
Oh, you
like, all
got
right.
him the Melancholy and Infinite
So it
Sadness.
was like
Oh,
an
that's awesome.
yeah. So I got him that tape, and he got me like a blue gray, not a blue gray, but a gray shirt. Come to think of it, I lost in that deal. Holy crap!
Yeah,
That guy duped me
but
because
that
I think
Melancholy
the
and
tape
Infinite
was more
Sadness, that was
expensive.
deluxe. Remember, it would
I
say
know,
deluxe
right?
on it. There would be a sticker
Holy
that says
shit, that
deluxe.
guy!
That was probably like
Holy shit,
250,
that guy! I thought we were
250,
friends. He duped
250,
me.
300, and you got a shirt.
Yeah, he got me like it was probably sale too. It wasn't even blue gray yet. It was gray.
Oh, that's
Before it
the
became
brand.
blue gray.
Yeah, that was the
Yeah.
brand.
You don't remember Gray?
Yeah, at Victoria
GRE
Plaza,
Gray?
second
Yeah,
floor,
Gray. Yeah.
where Jollibee
Before it
is.
was Gray.
Where
Yeah.
Jollibee is, right?
Yeah. Yes. 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 Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Where Jollibee is.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They
yeah, I
launched
remember.
there. They launched
Yeah.
there.
Yeah, it
It
was like a,
became Blue
it was
Gray
a pretty big
eventually.
store. It was like long, yeah, it was just gray. It was just gray. That's right.
It
That's
was
right. It
just
was just
Gray in the
gray.
beginning, then
It
became
was
Blue
just
Gray.
gray. That's right. That's right. Yeah, man. I
Right.
totally forgot about that too. That yeah, there was this. The blue gray was just gray back then, and became blue gray at Gmall, right? Am I right?
Yes. Yes.
That's where it became blue gray. Okay, so pen shop versus bench. Which team were you?
When Pen Shop was big, we couldn't afford it. Aldon, Miko had a lot of pen shop because my mother would buy her those things because he's the
Okay,
youngest. So he would
okay,
get those, pen shop bloomers t-shirts,
yeah,
and he looked really good because he had brand new shirts. While me and my
yeah.
brother, the one who's in Canada, we would like wear our dad's shirt, his bowling shirts, his bowling uniforms. Yung
Really,
free, yung free.
really,
Yes. Lianga Bay bowlers.
really, dude.
Yes.
Like you would wear those to school,
Pamilya Banal. No, I mean, like, well, we had those. I told you the okay, okay stuff. That's what we wear going to school,
but
right?
your brother had
And
pen shop because you know.
yeah, he had pension bloomers.
No,
He's
no,
a
because
spoiled brat. I'm telling you.
when
That's why
bench
he
first
screwed
came out
up.
because I know pen shop because I used to hang out at my friend's store. My friend had a store
And by the way,
in
Pen
yeah,
Shop is really close to BCS, if you remember,
that's a
like
Victoria
two, three
Plaza.
stores away.
But I
Yeah,
didn't go to
two,
that
three
pen
stores
shop.
away.
The pen shop I
You didn't
know
go
was
to
the
that
pen
pen
shop
shop?
at Bolton. There was a small
Wow,
pen shop at Bolton because my friend had a
wow.
store. Remember what I
Standalone
told
pen
you
shop.
during
Standalone
college?
pen shop. Wow.
That's the old pen shop. Remember, I was
Social.
I mean, no,
Social
I was
talaga to si
I
Rod.
wasn't really buying. I bought some pen shop shirts because it was like a popular thing, and I didn't even know if they were foreign or if they were U.S. or what. But the only reason why the only time I found out that they were local was when they had this club pen, which was like a group of models, and
Right,
some of
right.
them were from
Yes,
Davao.
yes,
I think
yes.
Ryan
Most of them
Agoncillo is
actually.
from there. I think Paulo Bediones is from there. They all like started their
Right.
careers there. So every year they would have this club pen, and they actually have like forms that you could fill out if you wanted to audition or something. And there were like some people from Davao. I'm like, taga Davao man to, ba't nandito to? Ba't naging model to? But right? So that's the
Mm.
thing. And then Bench came out, and they had this like social looking store at ATU.
Yes,
Remember?
yes. The
It
Gopings
was
went there
actually,
to launch
huh?
it with the Richard Gomez
Yeah,
for the
yeah. It was like they
launching.
had this
The
big.
Gopings went there with Richard and I think
Oh,
John
really?
Estrada
To
as
launch? I
well.
did
Yeah,
not know
yeah.
that. But it was the
A
heyday
lot
of
of
their
girls were
popularity, right?
there. A lot of
What?
girls were there because like Bench was gonna open and the Gopings will be there. So it was
Packed.
flooded with girls.
No, I would
Yeah,
assume.
it
I would
was packed,
assume.
man. Everybody was
I would
there.
assume. But the thing was like bench was even more expensive than pen shop, I think,
All
if I'm
right.
not
Okay. See,
mistaken.
yeah, you're right. Like Dexter saying, that's the old pen shop store in front
Yeah.
of you in
So
Belton.
it
I
was
bought
just a
some of my
small
pen shop
store.
shirts there.
Okay.
Right.
Okay. So if you, if you went to UM or if you're a regular of Bolton Street, does everybody know Phi Long? This Chinese guy who
Pylon?
run. We call him Phi Long because he looks like one of the characters in Street Fighter. He runs a family computer
Yes, of course.
on
Yeah, that
Bolton.
guy. Yes, yes.
Right? He would sell snacks.
Near Ed Sands
His
Tailorings.
daughter was there. His
Yes,
son was
always there.
there. His whole
Near
family
Visign
runs the
Bookstore.
business.
Near Visign Bookstore.
He looks
And Ed,
kind of
Ed
looks
Sands
like
Tailoring.
Bruce Lee, Jackie Chan,
Yeah.
really,
He
really
would be
small
wearing
guy.
this, tank top, this white
Yeah,
tank
yeah.
top.
We call
Typical
him Phi
Chinese.
Long because he
Yeah.
looked like
They call
Phi
him
Long.
Pylon.
And there's an air conditioner at outside, and there's a payphone. And right next, I think immediately right next to his shop was my friend's store. My friend's
Ah,
aunt had a store. That's where we would all hang out. So I
all
would
right. So
always be
that's
there
that's how you
playing
knew
Neo
Pylon.
Geo. I would play Super
Pylon,
Nintendo. We called him
Pylon,
Phi Long. And then
Lyra.
5 minutes, you would like 30 minutes, 30 minutes. And then they would sell Pop Cola, I think. And then they would sell Ding
Yeah.
Dong, right? So you're like sitting there playing.
Was his daughter pretty? I,
Yes, his
I, I
daughter was
remember
pretty. His
I
daughter was
remember he has a
pretty.
daughter. I just
Yes,
can't recall if
his
she was
daughter was
pretty or
pretty.
not.
His daughter
All
was
right.
pretty. He had a daughter, probably your age. Probably your age. Um, yeah, see, he used to play with Hernan. Yeah, we're talking about the Barrio Pogi boys. The guys Gabi
All right,
Engineer and
Hernan.
Magdula. Yeah, I used to go there.
Wow.
That place at UM, that little place. I mean, people would go to go, was it Coney's? The one at
Connie's,
That's the
Connie's,
arcade.
Connie's,
Connie's.
Connie's, Connie's.
What was
Yes,
the one
in
across
Illustre.
it?
Um,
Wait,
Mugi, Mugi.
Connie's was the one next to the one with the bikes.
Yes, that's Connie's. Like
Okay, what about the one inside the arcade?
Mugi,
Mugi. Okay, all right,
Mugi.
Mugi.
That's the
Okay,
that's the
yeah.
Mugi.
So I used to play those places too, but I was more hanging out at Longs. I was like a regular, like if I had a vacancy in my subjects because I was a regular, I had a regular schedule because I was a shifty, so I had a lot of vacant
You
skeds,
so
and
you. I mean, you were what? Like what? Did you go to
Ateneo.
UM?
No, but
Why
I
would you
hung
go to
out at
both
UM
one?
because all my friends were UM people. Mama
All
is
right,
from
all right.
UM. Goods is from UM. Miguel went to UM. They're all engineering guys. All my friends were engineering.
Ah,
So my Ateneo friends, I would hang out with them. But during this time when I had an irregular sched because I was a shiftee, I had a lot of vacancies. So some of my friends would be in class and I would have like an hour or two to spare. So I would go there and hang out with my UM friends, and they're always there. Like for some reason, there's a Mantex there too. I'm sure Dexter knows the
yes,
Mantex.
yes. Of
There's
course,
a
I know the
Mantex there.
Mantex. I remember that.
Yeah, there's a Mantex there. There's a Big John Burger. Remember that? Big John Burger?
Big John. Yeah, they had a commercial on TV
Big
too. A
John
local
Burger.
commercial. It sucked. The commercial sucked.
Oh, really? Who made it?
Yeah, Big John. It was a local commercial, man. Come on. I mean, you remember those local commercials in the 90s? Like, now showing in Nantuka cinemas, right? They have those cinemas.
Dude,
Golden, Garmin, and blah, blah. They would show some trailers and whatnot. Those were like local commercials, and they
you know
sucked.
what? You know what I used to hear all the time? A place that I used to hear all the time in commercials, the local commercials back then, that I don't hear anymore now. Kirante dos. What the heck is Kirante dos? Where the heck is it? I don't
Kirante Dos
hear.
is in
Does it still
Tagum.
exist?
Kirante Dos is in Tagum.
Does it still exist?
Yeah, it's a place. What are you talking about? It's
How
like
come we don't
Malvar
hear
or
it?
something.
Do you still hear it?
Kirante Dos.
Look, I'm on Facebook. I
There
never
are
read
no
Kirante dos
local
on Facebook.
commercials anymore. All right, okay. I think that's like Gaisano, right? That's
Kirante dos.
Gaisano.
Yeah, it's like a street or
Gaisano.
something, right? I'm
All
like,
right,
what
let's
the
see.
where's
Let's see.
Kirante dos? Like I
If my
always
memory
wondered
serves
about
me right.
Kirante
Gaisano,
dos.
Kirante.
Yeah, it was Kirante dos. Like I always heard that in commercials. Like, where the heck is Kirante dos? Like I don't see it, Kirante dos. So it's in Tagum? Why were they
See, yeah, here's
advertising?
okay. Restaurants near Gaisano Mall of Tagum, Tagum City on TripAdvisor. Find traveler. Kirante Dos branch, National Highway, corner Kirante Dos. So it's a place there.
Okay. So it's a place. It's a place. Yeah, I think it's a Gaisano. I think it was a Gaisano Kirante dos. How about Plaza? The Plaza. Yeah. Like Isa and I would
Okay,
talk
I
about
think
this.
have you okay. I don't know if this would, like just like jog your memory. Is this Big John Burger? Like Big John Burger. Bawat kagat. Nakakagrrr. I think that's it. I think that was their
I
tagline.
don't know, man. I
Big
don't know.
John Burger. Bawat kagat. Nakakagrrr. So it
No, I
really
do not
sucked.
know. Ask Joe Boy. Maybe Joe Boy knows.
No, Joe Boy's really young. If there's like somebody who's older, I don't know, my auntie, are you
I
listening?
just know Big John
Do you
Burger because
remember Big
whenever
John
I
Burger?
hang
Like
out at Mantex to be with my
nakakagrrr.
UM friends, there was one of the stall. It's like a food court. That Mantex. It
Yes,
was
I
like a
know.
food
Big
court.
John Burger. Big
One of
John
them would be
Burger.
Big John Burger, and
Bawat
I've never
kagat.
eaten there in my lifetime.
Nakakagrrr. It's like nakakagrrr, but
And
nakakagrrr.
remember back then, like going to Dunkin' Donuts having bunwich was a big deal. Parang it's like
Yeah.
bunwich.
Yeah,
Big deal
Dunkin'
ba na
Donuts. Like,
right?
yeah.
Bunwich was like so good
Dunkin'
already.
Donuts.
I was like, "Wait,
Bunwich. Yes, of
bunwich."
course. They have the BLT and they have the ham and cheese. My favorite was ham and cheese. My wife introduced me to BLT.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I love BLT. I'm a BLT guy. I love the BLT. But
Dexter,
something about
sakto.
bunwich was good.
Yeah,
Right?
Bunwich.
Actually,
Bunwich
I'm
is
getting
good.
hungry for bunwich.
Yes. Oh,
I'm
man, me
getting
too.
hungry for
Okay,
bunwich.
Dexter, you telling me that I got it right? The Big John Burger, the commercial? Bawat kagat,
Nakakagrr?
nakakagrrr. I mean, yeah,
I've
all right.
never had Big John
Yes.
Burger. I remember seeing it at my
You never
Thrifty
had,
Mart.
you always go there and you never had Big John
No,
Burger? What's wrong with
no,
you?
because I only go
I wanted
there.
to try it.
I only go there to like hang out with my friends because it's aircon and they don't kick you out. And they have, I think, cable TV. I think they have cable TVs like showing movies or something. So,
Yes,
you
yes,
go
yes,
there, you don't have to order anything. I think some people just order loaf bread or whatever, and they just, it became a hangout of
With loaf
students.
bread.
It became a hangout of students, and
All right. Ang
and
Big
this
John
was the
Burger
time.
kasi Asia Brewery ang mga beers nila eh. It's all right. Beer na beer
Yeah. Colt
or Manila
45 was
beer.
a
Asia
Colt
Brewery is like
45,
Manila
right?
beer, right? Yeah,
Colt
Colt 45 Asia
45.
Brewery.
I think they also
Manila beer.
distributed like Carlsberg. I'm not sure.
Carlsberg.
If I
Probably one of the
remember.
best beers in the world.
If I remember. But not the version we had here. That the Carl the Carlsberg we had here that was different. That did not taste like the Carlsberg that it's supposed to taste like. But anyway, yeah. So done with fashion. We're talking about reminiscing about the '90s. What about TV shows? Now we could
TV
go on and
shows.
on about TV shows, TV
Murphy
commercials too.
Brown.
TV
Murphy Brown
commercials.
is big.
Murphy Brown, yeah. Studio 23.
Frasier.
Studio
Studio
23
23,
had
yeah.
their shows,
Murphy
right?
Brown.
Studio 23 was like kind of like
Frasier.
the social shows, right?
Yes.
Party
Yes.
of Five, Dawson's
Mad About
Creek,
You. Mad
Murphy
About
Brown,
You.
Mad About
Mad
You.
About You.
Um, what was the one with David Spade? I don't know if that was
David
90s.
Spade.
It was like
Stop or else. Hang on. Like
no. Was that Murphy Brown?
David Spade? No. David Spade.
It was like
There's one.
Shoot. It's like a
Shoot.
like a magazine or something.
Stop
Yeah.
or my mom will shoot. No. That's Sylvester
No,
Stallone.
no.
Just shoot me.
Shoot me, yeah.
Just
Just
shoot
shoot
me.
me. Just shoot me. Just shoot
Just
me.
shoot me. Hang on. Just
Yeah, just
shoot
shoot
me. Hang on.
Florendo Frames. That was in Duterte Street, right?
Yes. Just shoot me.
Loren-
There you go.
That was across. That was across the old Denchas location. Remember, Denchas used to be located there.
Yes. Florendo Frames. Yes,
Denchas,
of course.
Denchas used to be located at that. I think it's a Union Bank now. I think it's a bank
Right.
now.
And every
But-
time we go in there to eat arroz caldo, my mom would be pissed because we would be staring at those chocolates. Those imported chocolates are always there, and they're freaking expensive. The Nestle Crunch, the what else? The Snickers. They have those chocolates, displayed right there for you to see,
Toblerone?
for you to
Toblerone?
yeah, to drool on. And my mom would be like,
They-
"No, get yourself a Big Bang or a Cloud9 or something."
Kaulin ang lugaw diya. It's and
Huwag na sanang lugaw.
I remember Denchas because like when my mom, because she was already she left for the States already at the time, and then she would come back, for vacation like every 2 years or so, and she would always crave for Denchas tokwat baboy. So we would always look for one after the show. We would always go and she would always bring me there. And we'd have she would have tokwat baboy. I never ate that stuff because at the time I was like it wasn't my thing. But okay. Now speaking of that area of Davao, y'all remember Willard, right? We all remember
Willard.
Will
Yeah.
City
became-
and Willard.
It became Will
Willard-
City eventually. Yes.
Yeah, and Will City. And
It's actually Willard, but it's Willard.
yeah, Willard.
So all my friends
Yeah,
would say like, I
we
thought
all met the
Willard,
owner,
guy,
right?
Willard.
we all
Yeah,
met the
yeah,
owner,
yeah.
right? Nice
That
guy.
guy who looks like a foreigner.
Yeah. He's like that guy looks like a foreigner. He does.
Yeah, he looks like
He's
a
very
foreigner.
nice. Now, my question here is, was all that stuff authentic, or did he?
Well, I think so. He was selling those Doc Martens.
Doc Martens. He
shoes.
sold Doc
Yeah,
Martens.
they were all legit. Yeah,
he
they were
sold
imported.
Air
Yeah.
Jordans.
Yes.
He sold like
I think they were.
yeah. I think they were. There were some stores I'm not going to
He
mention.
was
There were
quite
some stores in
popular
Davao
with,
that
the
kind of
rich kids.
mixed it with some like questionable.
All right, I don't think that guy did it.
But Willard, I think,
he was
I
popular.
think so, because I think I bought a couple of shoes there. Were you ever able to buy shoes there? They also sold caps. I think they also sold caps.
Yeah,
right?
he did. At that point in my life, I couldn't afford those things. in there.
Dude, it was
But
like
my friends
as
did.
a student- As a student living on a measly allowance, going to Willard back then was like going to a museum, right?
It is.
It was like just going there and looking at the shoes.
well, at
like,
least
behind.
for me. At least for me, because I couldn't afford it. I can't even buy it. I can't ever
yeah.
buy it. So it
Yeah,
was like a
me-
museum for me. You bought it.
Dude.
No, it's not a museum. It's like, all right, it's just
I was
a
able.
regular store.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
I was able to
things
buy a
here.
pair or two, but I didn't go crazy. But I just know because when I bought my DMs, Willard wasn't around yet, so I had to buy it at Aldevinco. There's a shop there called
Yes.
Classics. I think it was Classics or Classic,
Yes.
Classic, right?
Yes.
And I think the owner of that place was like a batchmate or something. Like the brother was like there was a pretty girl there who was always watching. I think she was the ate
Wow.
of the
All
owner.
right.
It
That's
was
why you
called
got it
Classic.
there, because there's that pretty girl who
It
always
was called
the
you
story.
remember,
Yeah.
remember Aldevinco, right? Like in the midst of all the
course.
money changer and all the batiks and
Yes,
stuff,
yes,
there's
yes,
like
yes, yes.
Doc Martens.
Yes. Doc Martens. What's that
Sabago,
popular?
Topsiders.
No, not Darksiders. There's another one. Quite popular. Master Yoda bought something there. Can you? It's like a
Caterpillar.
driving shoe. No, no, no. It was like a driving
Oh,
shoe.
Swatch.
No, 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 not
Swatch
Swatch.
Seasider. Remember
Yeah, no,
Swatch?
no, not that one. Not
Swatch
that one.
Seasider.
More. It was a bit more expensive. It sounds expensive. Come on, help me out here.
Sebago. Docksides.
No, 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 not Sebago. Not Sebago. Dude, it's
Oh
in
no,
the tip
no,
of
no,
my
no, no,
tongue.
no, no, no. I know what you're talking about. It's a dress shoe.
Colehan.
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 Yeah, those are expensive.
Colehan. Yes, yes,
Yes,
Colehan.
those are expensive. Yeah, Colehan. Yeah, that they did have Colehan there. Yes, yes.
Colehan.
Those are
Right.
the loafer types, right?
Yeah, yeah.
The loafer types.
Todd's.
No, Todd's is way expensive. Todd's is like 20K.
Holy crap,
Todd's is like,
Todd's?
yeah,
No, no,
Todd's
no,
is
no, no.
around like 10K, 20K.
That's
I don't know
yeah.
how expensive Todd's were back then, but I don't recall seeing Todd's here in Davao during the 90s.
No, no,
But
no.
yes,
That time,
now
no, no, no Todd's at that time.
no Todd's at the time, right? It was like
No.
Colehan,
Colehan,
DM,
Tobago, Docksides, DMs,
yeah. And I think the
Swatch,
Swatch Seasider, I
Seasiders.
think that was local,
I think
right?
so, right? I don't think that
Swatch.
was legit
Remember that?
Swatch.
It's like a driving shoe.
Swatch are like Swatch, Swatch.
I know,
Why
I
would they
know,
make shoes?
but it was called Swatch. It was called
Swatch
Swatch, and the logo was
Seasiders.
like a boat.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
I
yeah,
had
yeah, yeah.
and I had a friend who had a driving shoe, and that was his driving shoe. And I'm like, Swatch, like like it had a tag on the side, like it said Swatch.
Seasiders, right?
Why?
Let's
Why
Google
would
it. Let's Google it. Let's
why would
see.
Swatch make shoes, right? Remember the brand of Swatch? Ano kadalasan binibili sa Florendo Frames? Hold on. Don't tell me. I know. Jepoy and I used to go there to buy something. I'm trying to
Dude,
recall
it
what.
is actually local. Swatch Seasider is made of genuine cowhide leather, proudly made in the Philippines. So that's not
Okay.
connected
Yeah.
to like the Swatch, like
Because
Swatch. Swatch.
it copied the topsider. Like Sperry had something like that, and they kind of
Yes.
copied that design, I
Yes.
think.
Yes,
That's what
yes,
they
yes,
did.
yes.
So the funny thing was a lot of the guys who were wearing the driving shoes didn't even drive.
No, they didn't. They didn't.
And they were like driving shoes because the sole went all the way back.
True.
So you
True.
could, like,
True.
So hold on.
True.
So Dexter, anong binibili nga sa Florendo Frames? I'm trying to
Posters. What are we talking about? Posters. Posters.
Oh yes, posters. That's right.
Michael
Oh,
Jordan posters.
Yes. Posters.
My
Okay.
Arnold Schwarzenegger poster, Commando poster. I got it from Florendo Frames.
Yes, posters.
Commando, and I put it at the back of my. No, actually, yeah,
And
yeah,
then they started
on
like,
my door,
making,
on
like,
my door.
crappy versions of it, and they would sell it on the sidewalk of San Pedro Street. Remember?
Yes, yes,
They
yes,
have
yes,
like
yes,
this
yes.
like a collage of like Jordan, like Chicago Bulls, and like it was
True.
like kind of
True.
badly printed.
It was
They would
badly
sell
printed.
it on
The ones
sidewalk.
in Florendo Frames, they're good.
Yes, the
Yeah,
Florida Frames ones were good.
they have like those
Okay,
Michael
now I
Jordan
remember.
posters. They had like James Worthy and Magic Johnson.
Ano kadalasan binibili sa Florendo Frames? Posters of a fighter plane, F-14,
Yes, my cousin had those.
F-16,
F-14,
F-20.
F-16, F-20. Guns,
Okay.
guns. Like those
Posters of
handguns.
guns. Posters of guns.
Yeah, Colt 45.
It's a gun. Colt 45 is a gun. It is
All
a
right,
gun.
okay.
What are you talking
I was
about?
right. All right.
Colt
Okay, I was
45
right.
is
I
a
was right.
gun. It's a
I mean,
government.
for some reason, I was like, oh, it's
Government.
a beer. Colt
Yeah, that's
45.
one of the most reliable,
Right,
pistols
yeah.
in the world. The Colt 45. It's
Smith
also
and Wesson. Smith and Wesson. Sig Sauer, whatever.
yeah. HK.
Oh,
Okay, hold on.
HK.
Do they also sell that poster of that kid wearing a punk outfit saying "Bawal na kasi mangut"?
No, not that dude, but
No, they go-
those naked pictures with like
The
just like
one,
that
the one
girl,
that they
that
put in the
popular
back
girl,
of
like
a
covering
jeep or
her
a
tits.
tricycle, "Bawal na kasi mangut."
Dude, you can just get it on the sidewalk. Yeah, you walk along San Pedro Street. Yeah, it's right there
Dude,
at the sidewalk.
ashamed as I am to admit, but my friend Miguel, he had a friend who I think worked for La Tondena or like whatever. Just he always he would always get the calendars, right? And I remember I had a Jessa Zaragoza calendar. I'm sure you've all seen the one I'm talking about. The Jessa
Mhm.
Zaragoza one. There's a Cristina Gonzalez one. There's the calendars for Tanduay, I think.
Mhm.
And they were all at the Sunshine Cruise. I had 2 Sunshine Cruise. Yeah, I saved those things, man. And I actually put them in my room. And I'm like, my Lola's like, "Ibaba mo nga yan." Because I mean, these are like, but man, those calendars, if I could still find them, I don't know. I mean, I'm sure you all remember what I'm talking about. This was before FHM. This was like so to have like a pretty it wasn't high resolution already, I'm sure, but back then it seemed like it was high resolution. The calendars of like Christina Gonzalez and Sunshine Cruz and like Jessa Saragosa like barely wearing anything, and they were like promoting like liquor. Um, Man, I always got them from Miguel because Miguel would get extras from his friend who worked at the distillery, and they were giving away the ones that they give out to sari sari stores. So he would give me some, and I would always like treasure those. But hey. All right, so what else are we gonna talk about? TV shows. Let's go to the TV shows now. What were
Okay,
your
let's
okay?
do.
Murphy
Let's do.
Brown, you mentioned. I think Patrick said something about Studio 23. Yeah, it was sad that they turned it into a Masa TV channel. Okay. I don't know if you guys remember. I don't know if you guys remember Studio 23. When Channel V first started, it was very cool. It was like a house, kind of like an alternative, kind of like, they would show like Daft Punk and all that stuff. And it was
Yeah,
V,
maybe that's
Channel
the reason
V.
why I didn't like it. I was more of
Remember?
an MTV person because I know Channel V came out, but
Yeah.
they were not.
No,
They
no,
were
no. But I
playing
mean,
music
it
that
was
like
it, it,
wasn't
it
really
was
my
cooler than
music.
when like they had like the local VJs and they started playing
Ah,
like
yeah,
Tagalog
that's
stuff,
true.
right?
That's true.
But
That's
I mean,
true.
it was cooler at least
It
with
was
that.
cool. It wasn't
It
just
was more
they
of
were
like
they
a
were
it
just
was more
playing
of like
not
a
my type of
weird
music.
house. Yeah, I was an MTV guy too. I would stay up late to watch Raul Kana,
Raul Kana
Nadia
and
Utagalung.
yes, yes, yes.
I'm
It
sure
was the
your
other
I'm
one.
sure your favorite
Noni,
was
Noni.
Mike
What's
Kasem. Mike
my?
Kasem
Yeah,
was
I
TV
like my.
Kasem
How
Fun,
do you
right?
know? How do you know?
I know
I like
he's
Mike
you.
Kasem.
I see Mike Kasem. I see you. You're like that's
Yeah,
exactly who
that
you'd be if
that
you
guy. I
were a
like
VJ.
that
You'd be
guy.
Mike
I like
Kasem.
that guy.
Yeah, he
My
was
my
very
wife never
cool.
liked him. My
He was
wife never
very
liked him.
cool.
He
Like
was
he
a
didn't
Rahul
care. Like
kind of guy. Rahul Kana. I don't
Raul
know why.
Canal. Like he
You
was
like
always like
that guy?
well dressed.
I mean, yeah, he was
What?
cool and everything, but I didn't really like his style. But my wife was like, like, oh, Rahul Kana was really cool. I'm like,
Yeah,
what?
he was hosting Alternative Nation.
Ah, that's why.
Alternative
All right,
Nation. And,
all
and
right.
then he would like, they play Sepultura like late nights, and I would be like, I would be like half awake, half asleep because
Okay,
I'm drunk.
who was
And you hear
okay? You mentioned
roots.
Nadia. You
Goddamn
mentioned
roots.
Nadia, Rahul, and Mike Kasem. Who was the other
Nadia.
one? The Indonesian
Nadia
chick.
Utagalung. There was another one. She was
Is
also,
it
I think,
Noni?
half
Noni?
Asian.
Noni? Noni?
Yeah, yeah,
Koni?
yeah, yeah.
What
No,
was her
there,
name?
no, there was the guy. There was this guy who was kind of awkward. He was like Indonesian or something. Like his hair was skinhead and he was thin, and he was like always wearing like a loose shirt. I think Jeremy or something was his name or something like that. Like his face was like kind of like it was kind of like he looked like his face was kind of like this, like, and he looked like Joey, forgot
Joey
his name.
Mead? Joey Mead.
Joey
There
Mead
was a
was
Joey Mead.
yeah, Joey Mead was also there, I think. But I don't know if she came later. But
Holy
this
crap, I
guy
can't
who
see
he
him.
would like do the movie reviews and stuff. Like, let me go. What is that guy's name? Okay. I'm doing the
Noni.
research now.
Noni.
We have
It's not there.
Raul Kana, of course, Mike Kasem, Nadia. Oh, this guy, this
Oh,
dude.
there's a Noni, but it's like Noni Tao.
No, this
MTV
guy.
Asia, yes. Noni Tao. Noni Tao. Yeah,
Jamie
yeah, they're
Aditya. Remember him? Jamie
who?
Aditya.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Jamie
Yeah,
Aditya.
Jamie Aditya, right? That
Yes,
dude.
yes.
Yes, that's the guy I was talking about. Jamie Aditya. He was like kind of like awkward and quirky and kind of like a comic kind of guy. Um,
I didn't like this
yeah,
guy.
Jamie
See?
Aditya. I remember this. And then there was another one.
This is how I remember him. This is how I remember him. I think now that he's older, he looks cooler, but I remember him as this. As this
Yeah, he
guy.
doesn't have like a beard or anything. He was kind of like thin and kind of like quirky. He was always kind of quirky. He's
Like this
Joey.
guy.
He told you like came later.
This
Yes,
guy, this guy.
that's exactly him. That's how I pictured him out too. Um, Jamie Aditya. Yeah, I remember that guy. He came a little bit later, and he would handle like the movie reviews and like the events and stuff. But that's MTV Asia, and I'm glad that they had MTV Asia because they made a connection to the Asian market, and This was a time when music was booming in the Philippines. Speaking of music, who were your favorite Asian bands before we go back to TV shows?
Asian bands?
I mean, were you a side A guy? Were you a South Border guy?
No, I listened to
Were,
those bands, but I'm not really a hardcore
were
fan. I
you
mean, I was a big fan of the Eraserheads.
Oh, so you okay, cool. Because I was expecting you were like a preppy dude, so you'd listen to like all these like,
No, no, no.
the
I was a I was a
freestyle and
I
all
was
that
a
stuff.
I was a big fan of the Eraserheads. Like I
Yeah,
know
I was
almost all their songs. I can sing all their songs. Like I
yeah,
memorized almost all of the
I
lyrics
I,
of
I love the Eraserheads too,
Ultra
and but
Electromagnetic Pop and Circus, and
but
even
for some
Caterpillar.
reason, as much as I love the Eraserheads, if I were to choose, I would pick Yano. Like at the time at least, basing it on that
Well,
one
I listened
album
to
that
Yano
Yano came
too.
out with. I was more like when Yano
Mangkalas,
came
mabili
out.
ng chinelas, but they
Yeah,
were
it
like,
was just they
"Resign
were,
na
yeah,
magkitas ng chinelas."
yeah, like, Mangkulas, brown out, walang kuryente, brown out, walang kuryente.
Yeah.
Pag
Tingin
kulas na yun,
tingin.
right?
That was my theme song, man. What are you talking about? That was
SM?
my that
SM?
was my that was my jam. Yeah,
What,
because
SM?
that was my situation. I
Patingin-tingin,
go to
wala
the
namang
mall.
pera.
Oh yeah, exactly. I can't eat. I can't buy anything. I just like go around the mall.
That was a theme
That was
song of
me. That was
Naghihirap
me.
na Estudyante during the 90s. SM
Yes,
by
that was so me.
Looy, Looy, right? There's that part.
Yeah.
And then we found out that Eric Gancho's like from Davao, so one half of the band is actually from Davao. But
Yeah, that was terrible, man. I mean, when Victoria Plaza opened, I remember. Now I think about it. I mean, that was probably heartbreaking for my mom because there were like three of us, right? There was me, then my two brothers.
yeah,
Um, so I mean, I never really gave a thought about these things. But now that I'm, an adult and have a kid of my own, and I remember that time when, I mean, it must have been tragic for her to, like to have three kids, and there's like a new mall opening, and all we wanted to do was to eat at McDonald's. I think we ate at McDonald's when it opened, right in front of Victoria Plaza.
yeah,
I
yeah.
remember that. Then I think my mom left. She went home, but she left us at Victoria Plaza. We were like what? Um, no, we were not that old, but like I think it was like because my grandmother lived in Obrero, so it was kind of close, so we could walk. So
Yeah.
I think that's why she left, and we were just like, all right, we'll just no, 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 no. I think she no, no, no. She bought us tickets after we ate at McDonald's. She bought us tickets for a movie, which was um, a Bruce Willis movie with Meryl Streep and Goldie Hawn. You remember this movie?
Yeah, bird on a wire or something.
No, Death Becomes Her.
Oh yeah,
This is
that was a weird film.
Yeah, it's a weird
Like
film,
she
right?
would die. Like she wouldn't die, right?
Right.
Like,
And this was
always
doubled
fighting.
with. This was doubled with too,
What was the
with
double?
Racing Kane, John Lithgow, Racing Kane,
I don't remember seeing
movie
that.
about MPDs, multiple personality disorders.
Okay, all right.
Right.
Well, for
So
kids to be watching those,
I
right?
know, right? We just wanted to watch a movie. Then our mom was just like, "All right, I mean, I think that was the only time because I think it was like an opening and whatnot. Then succeeding, it was difficult. It was difficult. Like we would have to save our own
Man,
allowances to be able to
those are things. I mean, those are things I took for granted. I mean, like I said, you should never think of those experiences as like those experiences made you stronger, dude. Those experiences made you more appreciative, and I'm just glad that though I was fortunate enough to be able to afford most of the stuff that I wanted. I was also hanging out with people who couldn't, so I could totally feel it. Yeah, I could totally relate, and I think there's a difference there, because like it has a lot to do with your social circle as well. Because if I was hanging out with the super rich kids and the children of the influential people, then I would always be envying them, and then I would have this materialistic mindset, and I would always
Mhm.
be like, okay, like I would always feel like I didn't have enough, you know. But like what my friends would tell me when I went to Capitan Tomas, like I had the toys and I had the stuff. They were the ones who wanted what I had, so I never felt like I wanted more, and I learned to kind of
Right.
be more contented, right? Because I had enough food, you know.
Mhm.
I wasn't looking at the next kid with more food. Because I think like if I went to private school, my mindset would have been different. Because I would be going to school with children of congressmen, with children of influential people, with people who lived in houses with pools, and then I'd go back to my house. And if I compare my status to my classmates in public school, yeah, I was well off. But if you compare me to kids in private schools, I was probably one of the poor ones, you know. And I'm not saying that private schools have that effect on children. I think it still depende pa rin sa tao yan. But I think, like I said, you went to private school, so you guys had that situation in your family. So can you imagine your state of mind going to school and seeing your friends, having new shoes, and that yet here you are wearing ukay clothes? I mean, that's gotta, like, right. I'm pretty
Mm.
sure deep within you're telling yourself, when the day comes that I can afford, I'm gonna be buying this stuff, and that's why, like, that's what I'm telling you. Like, don't
Probably in
hold
a way,
back.
yeah.
Like, if you want to
Probably in
go
a way.
buy it, buy it. Now's the time to do it. You didn't get the chance to do it back then. Now's the time to do it. Don't deprive
But then,
yourself of
if you
that.
think about it, like my mom helped. Like, see, here's the thing. Now, because the reason why I brought it up because when we were kids, like my mom didn't really have much. Then like now, and my dad died, so I think he was the anchor.
She's splurging.
He was
No,
the
she took
anchor.
off. No, she took off.
Yeah, she took off because of that. Like everyone was like, "Did you just wait for your husband to die?" Because right after my dad died, my mom went to all over the world. All right, Canada, Japan. Like how many times has she been in Japan? 3 times. She's been to
Singapore,
Dubai.
right?
She's been to
Yeah,
Singapore. She's been to the
yeah.
UK. She's been to
UK, yeah.
Thailand. She's been to a lot of places.
Crazy.
She's been to
She's been to
Scotland for
Japan.
crying
Yeah,
out loud.
obviously she's been to Japan. These
Right?
are all first
She's
world
been to the
countries.
States, dude. She's seen the White House. She's seen the Lincoln Memorial. What the heck? Like, right? So everybody
I
and
think she was
she
just
was
waiting. She was like, I'm not saying she's waiting for your dad to
she
be. I'm
started
not.
buying cars and whatnot, and that thing with Filipinos, like, oh, Day, ang swerte mo, Day. Yung mga anak mo nasa abroad. No, that's not the case. She's
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
actually the one who's helping
Dumidiskarte
us
siya.
out,
Yeah, she has
right?
her own thing. Yeah, she has her own
Like every
gig.
time she comes here, she would be like buying my groceries and whatnot.
She has
And
her
like
own
even
gig.
this, okay, like okay, I have an Apple Watch now. This is not for me. This is my mom gave this to me as a gift. My
See?
my wife bought her own, but this is like I wouldn't buy this shit. My
Yeah,
wife
I know
would,
you. I know you
right?
wouldn't.
So my mom was like, all
Mm.
right, because my wife bought an Apple Watch, and my mom was like, oh, you're so you're yeah, all right, okay, just buy
Like,
it.
my
Like
mom would
I'll
never
pay
buy.
for it.
My mom would never buy me an Apple Watch.
I
Are you
think she's
kidding
trying
me?
to make up for the things that that we were lacking back then. She's like, just
She was
remember,
she was just keeping
in
it
the
all
'90s.
in. She was just like, she's waiting for her time to shine. Boom. All of a sudden,
Dude,
it's
the
like,
'90s, man, that was the time. Like she would come to our school in Holy Child, and she would have nothing. And if we would like, oh mom, can I like have like no, we don't have money. You can't eat hamburger at the canteen. And we learned how to
yeah.
like, all right. And she'd be like, well, I have a peso. You can buy a maruya. I'm like, damn it, I want the burger. All right, I'll eat the maruya. But yeah, anyway, so
But you know what? At the end of the day, you were good kids. I think you were good kids. I think you're good kids because I hear stories like that from my wifey about them also growing up. Like 50 pesos lang yung baon sa school, and then they all come home and they're like, "Te, lutuin mi kwan bin." They're like, she would cook, and they all like devour the food and they fight over the rice and like,
it's still going.
yeah, like one of her brothers would walk from like Damosa to home just to not spend the money on tricycle. I mean,
Yes.
because he was saving up for something,
Well,
and then
okay. Here, at least the guy's honest.
yeah.
Me, on the other hand, I'm back.
Sabi, wait for another passage.
Takbo na! Takbo na! Nag 1, 2, 3 ako. Takbo na.
Uy, wala conductor. All right.
Takbo,
Like
takbo,
you wait
takbo.
for the jeepney with no conductor.
Holy shit. Holy shit. All right, anyway, okay.
Yeah.
All right, so let's go back to TV shows.
Yeah,
What
TV
was that
show, TV
scary
show.
TV show on Studio 23?
What?
Sort of like a Twilight Zone-ish type of show.
What was a scary
was
TV
that?
show?
It wasn't scary, but it was like sort of a Twilight.
Adventures of Alex Mack.
No. Like, well, yeah, that one was at
Um,
that was on Studio 23. There was this thing. What was that? It was like sort of a Twilight Zone type.
It was
You know,
horror.
like those weird things. It was horror, borderline weird,
X
strange.
Files. No, X Files
Not
was an
X-Files.
RPN, I think.
No. That was
Oh.
RPN. No, not X Files.
Oh no. Hold on. Okay, hold on.
People help us. Help us out. There was an episode that featured Lou Diamond Phillips as a DJ, and I was already a DJ back then. At
So
Power
it was like
93.
it was like a midnight DJ or something.
Yes. And it was like, oh, I'm getting cocky right now. Like, and he was like talking to somebody on the, on the telephone on air. And I think he got murdered or something. Like, what was that? Like, like every week they have
I'm trying to think. Yeah, I'm trying to.
different
It's not
episodes.
Red Shoe Diaries, right?
No. And then they have a host too, because the host would like like talk about it, like oh blah blah. It's like the Twilight Zone, right?
Yes,
There's like
yes,
this
yes,
guy
yes.
would like say something and like
But it's the
you
like the
know
modern version.
yes, it's the modern version. What was
Okay,
that?
hold on. Let's check. Um,
Um, modern version of Twilight Zone.
Tales, not Tales. Are you afraid of the dark? Tales
No, no,
from
no,
the
no.
Crypt. Buffy. Um, God, was it 90s?
Yes,
2000.
90s or early 2000. Hang on.
Stephen King Stand.
What was the title?
Charmed.
10 shows to watch if
Um,
you like the Twilight Zone.
not Twin Peaks, right? Angel.
No, Black Mirror. No, Thriller. No. Are you afraid of the dark? No, there's not it. Dark Room. No, Amazing Stories. No. The
Dark
Outer Limits.
Shadows.
Definitely not.
No.
Alfred Hitchcock. No. Night Gallery. Holy crap! Electric Dreams. No. It was kind of
It might
popular.
be Night. Yeah, not Night Gallery.
It wasn't Night Gallery. I would remember the title if if I'd hear it like all right, Twilight Zone, 90s. Okay, what genre is a Twilight Zone? What kind of a show is this?
That's probably like suspense thriller, kind of like. I don't think it's like horror level.
All right, let's see. What's his name? Lou Diamond Phillips.
Blue
Lou
Diamond
Diamond
Phillips.
Phillips.
Nash Bridges.
As DJ in a TV show.
Sherlock Holmes. It might be 2000s though.
It could be. Hang on.
It might be 2000s. It might not even. It might be early 2000s. You know.
Okay. Here it is. Here it is.
What is it?
Night Visions, Dead Air Renovation. Was it this? No, it wasn't Night Visions. This is a series. No, it was like an episode. All right, let's move on. I'll try to find it.
2000s. Yung singer na babae na horror din. No, she's talking about Sarah. He's talking about Sarah Michelle Gellar.
Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Yeah, I
That
think
was
that's what
big
he's
too.
talking about. Yeah, and he was asking about Phoebe. What are the names? Phoebe, Piper, and okay, who's the other one from Charmed? Phoebe,
Charmed. Piper
Phoebe,
Parabo.
Piper, and
Shannon Doherty.
yeah, what was her name?
What's her name there?
Phoebe was Elisa Milano, right?
Right, Lisa Milano was Phoebe.
Yeah, but the one I liked was Piper. She was the one that I kind of thought was
Piper
cute.
Parabo.
Yeah, but the other one, what is the name? Okay, all I remember was Malcolm in the Middle. You know, I never watched that show. I remember, okay, Jennifer Love Hewitt ba yun? Oh, that's different. Jennifer Love Hewitt, that's different. That's like Party of Five. That was Party
Yes.
of Five. Paige. Prue or Paige? Was it Prue? I think Prue. Prue.
Prue.
It was
I think Prue.
Paige was the newer one. Paige was like when she got replaced.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah, I was gonna say Sherilyn Fenn.
That's the how many
Two Moon
how many
Junction.
weeks? 2 Moon Junction, and there's like weeks. Like
Yeah. No, not 9.5 weeks. That's Kim Basinger, man.
what is that? Was that really Kim
Yeah,
Basinger?
it was Kim. It was. Search it. 9.5 weeks. Mickey Rourke, Kim Basinger.
All right. Okay.
So Prue is Shannon Doherty in Charm. Yeah, it was Prue. Paige is that girl who replaced her. That the other forgot her name, but that other actress. She got replaced because of her attitude problem, supposedly. So there was Party of Five. Oh, okay. What show was always on Studio 23 when it was Holy Week? They have a marathon of this show. Anybody remember? From our listeners, can anybody chat? If you guys remember what show was always on Studio 23, they would have a marathon of it whenever it was Holy Week. Yes, Seventh Heaven. Absolutely.
Seventh Heaven. Yes. Seventh Heaven.
I had the
I
hospital
watched
Jessica
that
Biel.
too. I
had the
watched
hospital
that
Jessica
too.
Biel. And Jessica Biel is now what's his name's wife, right?
What's his name? What's his name? Jessica Biel. What's his name?
NSYNC, Justin Timberlake.
Justin Timberlake. Are they
Justin
together?
Timberlake. Yeah. What?
Oh, crap.
Justin Timberlake. Stop messing around. Justin Timberlake's wife. Yeah. So it is Seventh Heaven. I remember watching Two Moon Junction in Queens. That must be the worst punishment in the world to be able to watch like a an adult film in a movie theater. Like, what are you gonna do there, right? I mean, like
Of
you're in
course,
public.
of course.
She was hot back then. Are you kidding me? Sherilyn Fenn? She was super hot. She was, I think she was dating, I think she was dating Johnny Depp at the time too, when she was doing all this like, all this like sexy stuff. All right, what other TV shows? Studio 23. I don't know if I was always oh, what about Will and Grace was a Studio 23, right? But I think that's
It
2000.
was Will and
I think it's
Grace, Dharma and
2000s.
Greg.
Yeah, that was 2000s. Sex and the City was actually out during the 90s, I think. You know what? I wasn't watching it yet back then. Like I didn't know it was a brilliant series until my wifey did the marathon with the DVDs, and then I like, oh, this is actually a cool show. And Ally McBeal. Oh, these were RPN 9 shows, right? Ally McBeal, was that RPN?
Yes, RPN9 with The Practice.
Sex and the City, I think was RPN. I'm not sure. And then ABC5 came out, and there was this like thing that happened where it was I think it was Bubble Gang on GMA. Then they transferred to ABC. It became Tropang Trumpo. Am I right?
Yes, yes,
Right, because they couldn't use Bubble Gang,
yes.
and then Bubble Gang came back. Um, what about what show on TV had the character Dennis Wrongman?
Dennis Wrongman. Dennis Wrongman.
Dennis Wrongman. Dennis Wrongman. There was a character named Dennis Wrongman. You don't remember?
Dennis Wrongman. Who played a role?
A puppet. He was the sidekick of Joey De Leon in Wow Mali.
Yeah, I remember. I remember now. Yes. Yes, I remember that.
Remember Arnold Clavio had Arn?
Yes, Arn.
Joey Marquez
Arn.
had Dennis Wrongman. Really looked like Dennis Wrongman, but he was a puppet.
Yes, a
He was
puppet.
like his
right?
sidekick in Wow Mali. And yeah, and Wow Mali's intro was like MGM, Metro Golden Mayor, but the lion was Joey Marquez going where? No, Joey De Leon. Joey De Leon
Yeah.
going like this thing. So yeah, I used to watch Wow Mali. Was it ABC5 that also showed music videos? Like there would be a time that they would show music videos like in the afternoon. Was
Yes,
it, or,
yes, they would because they have.
right?
I think they had Music Bureau.
Was that what it was called? They would show like
Yeah,
Gin
with
Blossoms and all
Giselle
this stuff.
Tondi.
Like they would show like music videos. So yeah, but obviously the probably the top shows back then, local shows back then was Palibasa Lalaki, obviously. Abangan ng Susunod Na. On GMA's front, there was Ober the Bakod, if you guys remember that.
Ober the Bakot. Dude, I love that
was
show.
Andrew
Are you
E.
kidding me?
That was Mokong and Bubuli, right?
Yes.
Andrew E. and
Mokong.
Chano Gibbs. And then I'm still trying to okay, of course, the tradition of watching Noli De Castro and Magandang Gabi Bayan every Viernes Santo. That I mean, the thing back then was that we were short on choices. We did not have very many choices. So when we talk about this stuff, there's a high likeliness that the people listening can probably relate or did the same thing. All right. Home Along the Rallies. Probably Riles. Dexter. I before E except
Riles.
after C. It's I before E except after C. Yeah, Home Along the Riles. This was but Home Along the Riles was it even a comedy?
Yes, of
Like
course.
it was more of a family movie, right? And the story there was like it's like
a
I know the
family
story
comedy.
there was like Ason was supposed to be the wife of Dolphy, but her twin sister like took her place. And he ended up marrying the twin sister and had the children, sila Vandolph and Smokey and those guys. So that's why Ason is still in love with Dolphy because inago siya ng twin sister niya who died while they were still married with Dolphy. So Dolphy like had no idea that that was the love story, that his girlfriend was actually Ason, was actually Nova Villa. And then when they were
Mhm.
about to make Tanan, Nova Villa wasn't the one. I don't know. She wasn't able to show up. It was her twin sister that showed up. So that's the one that Dolphy ended up marrying and getting pregnant and having kids with. But she died later of an illness. So now Ason is still. That's why Ason was still always in love with Dolphy. I think that was the plot, the twist to that. I think there was one episode where they explained everything, and Home Along the Realist was kind of a weird series because they created characters with actors that I don't recall seeing in any other show. Like Bernardo Bernardo. Where the heck was Bernardo Bernardo from? Bernardo Bernardo was cast in Home Along the Realist. I don't remember him from anything else. But he was brilliant. I mean, Bernardo Bernardo was like, I don't know, maybe he was a stage actor. Sin,
Yeah, he
was it
could be because he's actually an actor. Like
was
he's a
it Cynthia
comedian, but he's an
Astals
actual
or something?
actor.
Sita Astals? Where
Sita
was she from?
Astals.
I don't
Sita
recall her.
Astals.
I don't recall seeing her anywhere else too. Sita Astals. She was just before that. I don't recall seeing her. And then the Sunog Baga boys, who I assume were probably the drivers of the cast. You know, they were always just like hanging out outside. And there's this guy named Kohol who's like, do you remember that guy? He's always standing
Kohol.
on the wall. He's like,
I know.
I mean, and then, okay, what's the name of the guy who owned the store? Where the Sunog Baga guys were always like drinking but not
Yeah.
paying.
I forgot the name.
Si Mano, no, Manong ba yun? Or something? Mang Pedring or something? No, not, was it, what's that
Mang
guy's
Pedro?
name?
Is that Mang Pedro? Oh,
Erwin or something?
my mom's tuning in. Hi, mom.
Oh, well, she heard about you telling the world about her adventures.
About her adventures. Just waiting for my dad to die. All right, he's dead now. All right, let's tour the world.
I'm gonna buy this and we're gonna go there.
Right. And
I bet Ice Pops like pandamay.
I know, right? Pandamay. Hulat lang yun.
Mang Tomas. Mang
Tomas. Yes, Mang Tomas.
Mang
Of
Tomas.
course, Mang Tomas.
Okay, anybody remember that Mang Tomas commercial? What was the line that kid said when he was about to pour the Mang Tomas on rice dahil walang ibang ulam? You remember? He had Mang Tomas and then he poured it on rice, and before he ate it, he went like this and said something.
Dude, I found it.
Okay, but
Night
I'll tell you
Visions.
first, the Mang Tomas, before you tell us the Diamond Lou Phillips one. Parang si MacGyver. You
Del
don't
Monte?
remember? Parang si MacGyver, Mang Tomas commercial?
No.
The kid was like hungry and he didn't have anything, walang ulam, so he just poured Mang Tomas on rice and he said, parang si MacGyver. Oh, anyway, so go. What's the movie? Oh, what's the series? What's the Lou Diamond Phillips one?
Night Visions. That was it.
That's what you just said earlier. You already said Night Visions. You said it's not it. It's not it.
Did you say that? Did you say Night
You were
Visions?
saying Night Visions already like 3 times.
Oh, you said it?
You did. I didn't.
No,
you
I didn't.
said it because you were searching and you go Night Visions. No, it's not Night Visions. You're going, no, it's not Night. So you.
I said it? All right, okay,
Yeah,
because
you mentioned it.
that was like episode 2A, because the dead air. So it's like, 2A. That was like,
You
a
were a
late night
DJ
radio
already
show.
then. Were
DJ
you doing
begins
the
to get
graveyard
strange
shift
calls.
too?
Yeah, because the plot is a late night radio show DJ begins to get strange calls as events through that night convince him that the caller is up to more than a mere prank. All right, so yeah,
Okay.
this was creepy. Night Visions. All right, sorry. Anyway, all right.
Got it.
We're at the 2-hour mark now.
I think I mentioned it
with that
because
show.
you mentioned it, or I saw it on the list that I was searching for. Like I saw Night Vision, and you're like, no, it's not Night Visions.
Mang Tomas. Oh man,
Mang Tomas, parang si MacGyver. There was that kid that did that line.
dude, why do you remember these things?
Well,
Okay, commercials. Because we were talking about commercials. One I missed the most. You know that I'll always be there. What commercial was that?
Bear
For
Brand.
you.
Bear
You're
Brand.
talking about Bear Brand.
You remember
Shut
when
up,
they were
come on.
still a kid? It was like black and white, and then later on, like they was dancing already with the lolo, and then like, they were
I
still young.
remember yesterday. So when the world was so young. Ah, Lolo, let's dance.
I knew you were. I knew you. Bear brand. Like, dude, who drinks bear brand off a can? Like, I don't recall ever doing that in my
Apparently, that
lifetime.
guy did,
Did
who
you
became
ever
a
buy
Lolo.
bear brand? Ibuslot yung latag itong hub. Like,
Remember that? Remember
that's
that?
what
Because
they
she
did in
was
the commercial. Like, they
okay.
drink bear brand. Like, wouldn't that
The
make you
commercial was like, Lola, let's dance. And then when he was already
na
old,
na 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 na?
the old guy was like doing this, like, like the commercial was like, right? You remember that? It's like,
Okay, what
I'm
commercial is
tired.
this? What commercial is this from? Heaven tastes like heaven.
Heaven tastes like heaven.
Come
This is
on.
chocolate, right? That's a chocolate
Heaven. And they like start floating and stuff. Like they start flying after.
biscuit. It's a biscuit.
Yeah, it's a biscuit. What is it? What is it?
Skyflakes,
Rebisco.
Rebisco.
Sandwich. Cookie, cracker, whatever the heck it was. Heaven.
Aboitiz. That's like
Yes, yes.
Aboitiz company, right?
WGNA.
Yeah, Sharon Caneta flying all around the Philippines for the shipping line company commercial, right?
Okay, what about this one? Kay tagal mo nang nawala, babalik ka rin,
Babalik ka rin.
babalik
Babalik.
ka rin. Who was that? Who sang it and for what was it for? Kay tagal mo nang nawala, babalik ka rin.
What's that?
Gary V, Duty Free Philippines.
A duty free.
Yeah,
Tonyo!
Duty Free. I don't know where that's from.
Tonyo, that's like duty free.
Oh, that's Duty Free. Okay, all right.
Tonyo, like Tonyo was like working overseas at the Middle East.
What about this?
I know
Walang
PLDT,
klase,
Tonyo.
walang klase, meeting.
Meeting, yeah. Nissan's cracker.
Nissan.
Walay klase. Nissan.
Meeting.
Yeah, I know, right? That was like a
Walay.
thing. I think teachers got really pissed with that commercial. Because, kids would be singing like, walay klase. Ha! Like, walay
Meeting.
meeting.
Get
Get one for it.
Nasad. You know what I mean?
Meeting day, ha? Get one for it. Let's have a surprise quiz.
What dog breed was featured in that commercial? That Nissan's cracker commercial with they were doing the zipper, they were making like noises. To know classic Nissan. And then there was a dog that was barking. What was the breed of that dog? Warf, warf. It was like,
Was it a Shiba Ken?
what?
Shiba, like a Shiba.
Oh, Shiba Inu? No, it wasn't a Shiba. No, that's an expensive breed. I don't think we had Shiba here in the Philippines back then. It was a Basset Hound, the hush puppies that we call.
Hush puppies.
Yeah, it was a hush puppies. Yeah, the Basset Hound. That's what it was. Cebu. What is he? Okay, what is Cebu Pacific? What is Dexter talking about? Commercials. Sharon McDonald's had commercials. Jollibee. I'm trying to recall what Jollibee's commercials. Oh, was it Jollibee? The sure, pwede makishare. I think it was like this guy like had the food with him and then he wanted to sit next to the girl. And I think the girl was Giselle Sanchez or something. Oh, sure, pwede makishare.
Probably.
You don't remember that commercial?
Mhm.
I'm trying to recall commercial. Of course, Francis M with his Royal to Orange jingle, right?
Dude, the Cali Shandy. Don't you remember the Cali Shandy? I was like singing that song. That was like a very good commercial.
How does it go?
Like, it was a boy band song from what was that band? It was that boy band. Caught in the Act. Caught in the Act. You know that I'll always be there for you.
It was a Cali Shandy commercial.
It was a Cali Shandy. It was so saucy, and it was so it was very nice.
A lot of people were duped, right? A lot of people actually thought that the Cali
there's a
was
beer.
like alcoholic.
No alcohol. No, there's not. Like, oh, don't drink Cali Shandy. It's alcohol.
And some people pretended they were drunk drinking Cali Shandy.
I know. I'm drunk. Cali Shandy. Zero alcohol. You stupid.
The Agamulan commercial, Patrick, I remember was the isa pang Chicken Joy.
Chicken Joy. Oh, yeah,
Remember the kid?
Mm.
Who was the
It's a
kid?
fat kid, yeah? Fat kid.
No.
Was it a
Serena
fat kid?
Dalrymple. It was Serena
Ah.
Dalrymple. She had short hair.
Yeah, she always cry in her movies.
Isa pa. Yeah, but she wasn't crying in Tic Tac Toys, Michael Loco Toys.
That's
Redford
true.
White
Where
and
is she
Papago were
now?
crying.
Where is she now? Whatever happened to her?
She's successful now. I think she lives abroad. She's successful now. I think she's like a head of a company, or like she's a professional.
What's her name?
She's a she's a good kid. Serena. I was gonna say Serena Vander Woodson. That's from that's from Gossip Girl. Ser- yeah.
Serena Del Rimple is a Philippine actress who has been officially retired from show business since 2004, though she twice briefly returned to star in the 2008 film Ang Tanging Inan Yung Lahat na De La Salle College of St. Benilde. Where is she now?
She's like in the States now or something. She's professional. She's like, what? What are you gonna do?
She now lives in New York. She was
Yeah.
known as Child Wonder back in the late 90s and early 2000s. Serena Del Rimple. All right, Serena. That's her name.
Yeah. So she doesn't say what she does for a living.
It doesn't say here, but she's based in New York,
She does
so
adult movies and
or she has OnlyFans OnlyFans site.
and Dexter's
Probably
listening going,
not.
"Hey, Jet Boy, remember
Probably.
that police shades that you sold me?" Yeah, he's on board. A little too late. We're about to end the show,
Yellow.
actually.
What do you mean yellow? It was a yellow shades.
No, it was not. It was police. It was kind of like rectangular, kind of like.
All right, so we got to make that announcement.
Yes, we
We're
do.
still gonna be doing this on Saturdays, but on weekdays we'd be recording stuff. We're gonna have like a sort of um podcast type, like podcast, no video, just audio. We're gonna still upload it
Yeah.
on Facebook. We'll find a way so you can still listen to it, but interactions kind of like yeah. Wait until it's Saturday, so you could like we could do this thing with interaction and whatnot. But we're gonna try it out. Where are we gonna upload it, Rod? SoundCloud.
What?
And Jepoy's saying we have a lot of shades. Which one are you talking about? Jepoy is talking about the police shades that you secretly sold him. I think you took it from the store, from your optical shop, and you secretly
me.
sold it to him for a very
I'm
big
gonna say-
discount. It's probably like 50 off. I don't know. It was like police.
Yeah. He was like, I remember it was like police shades. You go to sleep. Go to sleep.
All right. Ang reaction ni Jepoy, okay. That's the
Okay.
reaction you got.
Yeah,
Okay.
he's listening. I'm busted now.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, he also sold me Oakley shades, by the way. Yeah, he did. He did.
He
But not
did.
the ones you wanted. I know you wanted like the Juliets. He sold me like E-wire,
What?
zero wire, something like that. I don't know if you're familiar with that.
Those were good too. They're Oakleys. Doesn't
Yeah.
matter. Shades under the Christmas tree.
Yeah, he was like where's E-wire?
Shades.
Yeah, he sold me those
under
two.
the tree.
He sold me a pair of those two.
Right. So where are
anyways,
we
yeah,
gonna
so-
upload
so-
our thing? SoundCloud or what? Like Spotify? Is
Rat,
you don't really know yet.
I'm gonna deal with
Um,
you after I do my show.
I just told Snow that like that thing with Raj, like Thursday, and I told
Yeah, yeah.
Snow yesterday. I was
She
like,
does
"Oh,
the
you're
same
like
thing.
Raj," and why? Why? She was so curious. Like, why? Because your Tita Rod was so mad. She was like doing this, right? And same thing that I do to you. And Raj, I told Tita Rod that maybe Raj was doing like, "Eh," and that's what you do to me. And she's like, ha, ha. She was like laughing. She was so happy. like, and like, oh, was he mad? Did he spank? Like, he asked me if you spank Rod or Raj, whatever. I'm like, no, I don't know. What? Probably
same
not.
here.
Because at the end of the show, I said, at the end of the show, Raj said, I love you, Papa. And that is so you. And she was like, ha, ha. She was like laughing because she says that to me all the time. I love you,
Yeah.
Papa.
I mean, okay, Jetboy said it was an E-wire Oakley, only 1.5.
Only 1.5? EY or
sold it to me
Oakley,
for
only
1.5.
1.5?
Yeah, no receipt, no warranties, nothing.
Dude, all right. So like
Yeah.
Where?
Okay.
What do we do?
So
Like
we're
Patrick's asking.
we're doing it like podcast, without the video, but we'll do the episodes with the videos, and we'll do it live on Saturdays only. But the rest of the week, so the Monday episode and the Thursday episodes, there will be I guess we'll do it live like this, but it's not gonna be it's not gonna be on streaming anymore on Facebook. It's gonna be we're just gonna share the link to, I guess it's going to end up in Spotify, because that's probably the most popular site for.
Probably all the free, like hosting
Yeah.
podcast hosts
We
would
will
probably
upload
upload
it
it there.
there. And the thing is, like, we did give it a check. We tried it out, and I'm like, the quality of the audio is like way better, and the the show just flows better. It's the same thing. We're doing the exact same thing. We're not changing anything. It's just that it's just the format that we are publishing it, so to speak. And I think it's better that way, because like nobody's really gonna sit around on Facebook for 3 hours to watch us do the show, and
Yeah,
you
and,
don't want to
and
be
it's
stuck.
probably going to be shorter, right?
Yeah, it's
Should be
probably gonna be
around 30 to
shorter too. It's
45
probably gonna be
minutes.
shorter, and you don't also want
So,
to be like on Facebook the whole time and
right.
not being able to navigate the rest of your your apps or
True.
whatever, just because you're tuning in.
And
Because with
and please bear
Spotify, you
with
can
us
have
because
it
we're
in the
going to be picking
background.
topics that would be in the beginning would be picking out topics that would be like Philippine centered about like because we're trying to package it like um people are interested in the Philippines and people are from the Philippines,
Yeah,
balikbayans and whatnot, immigrants. So we're like we're trying to think of like of a concept that's like it's Philippine centered. So we're going to talk about
yeah,
those things.
yeah, and probably the target audience are either people who haven't been to the Philippines in a long time, or who haven't been to the Philippines at all. So
Right.
we're
Yeah.
gonna kind of like package it as like, this is our culture. This is like with the funny side of the Philippines, places that you should go to, tourist traps, stuff like that. And basically the stuff we talk about that's very relatable for a lot of you out there. But if you put it on because if you publish it on the podcast, it's not limited to our network of friends anymore. It's like it's global. Anybody who does a search, our podcast will appear, and it's just going to help us reach out to a broader audience. Because obviously, if you publish it on Facebook, like on our page or on the OK Show page, it's basically limited to just the people who are following it, and unless we pay for ads so that other people can see the show. But like I said, most people who are on Facebook, they're not gonna like watch a video that's gonna last more than 10 minutes or whatever. So we're thinking, well, we should do that as a podcast. That was originally how it was anyways when we were doing radio. It was strictly just audio. We're not doing anything visual, so we're not reviewing products, so we're not really, maximizing the video aspect of this show. So we might as well maintain the audio integrity of it, and it's going to be presented better. And I think if Ice can upload a sample of a previous episode, just so people kind of get the feel of it, I think you guys will agree with us that yeah, this show really is a podcast. It is a podcast, but it's a podcast in its rawest form, where it's just audio. There is no video except on Saturdays, because we don't want to lose the interaction with people like Jepoy, Patrick, Dexter, Gab, Joe Boy. You guys give us feedback, though. Obviously, it's not as like there are some of you out there who are very active with responding and chatting with us. There's some of you out there who just are passive listeners. So we still want to cater to that audience. We still want to have you guys see us live and do a show. So that will be on Saturdays. But the other two episodes will be on Spotify. And we will post the links on the OK Show page. Click it. You can go to Spotify. Everyone's got Spotify anyways. Or if not, I think it will just take you to a site with Spotify. And it's free. It's you can listen to it in private, and you can enjoy the show while doing everything else that you do with your phone or with your computer or whatever. And we're not going to require 100% of your attention, because there's video involved. And I think I welcome it, and it's a collective agreement. But we have done what, 60 episodes right now? Ice, is this
Yes, we
officially
did. 60 episode.
60 episodes? Who would have
60
known that
episodes.
that one phone call, where we test broadcasted that very phone call, would lead to 60 episodes, right? And now transitioning to the podcast. So you
Right.
guys will
But
be
we're
able to
gonna have
enjoy
this
it.
on Saturdays. Don't worry about it because we don't want to
Yeah.
let go of this as well because this is kind of fun. And if
Yeah,
this
of
community
course.
can grow, that would be perfect.
Yeah, it's not going to be much of a change for us, because like when we record the shows for the podcast, we still have to do this. Like we're doing this
Mm.
minus the audience,
Right.
minus the audience. But the
There will
best
just
part
be
is,
some editing involved or whatever, you know.
yeah, the best part is like when we do future episodes of our Spotify or wherever we're gonna publish it podcast. It could be an Apple podcast. Best part is we can invite people to join us on the show, and those who are kind of camera shy or don't want to be necessarily
Mhm.
seen, just heard, then they'll be more open to participating.
True.
Because it's a podcast. You will only be heard. The only people who will see you will be us, or you don't even have to turn on your video. And when we do the interview or when we do the show, you don't have to worry about preparing your background or whatever. So it's I think going to be the best case scenario to the direction that the show is going. So if you guys want to know about the episodes, you don't have to keep checking Spotify. You just check our uploads or our links that we post on the OK Show page, and you'll get the latest episode still. You'll be notified still on Facebook. And I think, can they listen to it on Facebook, Ice? Will it
Yeah,
play on
I
Facebook if
think
they click it,
well,
or it will open?
I think they'll open a link or something.
Yeah, so it's not necessarily like on Facebook, right? The link
No,
is there.
no.
They click it, it
The
will
link
open
is
the show.
there and right, yeah, basically. We'll try to
Yeah,
find a way.
exactly, Patrick. You can listen on your time during the daily commute, and it's available 24/7 once it's uploaded. Once it's on Spotify, it's there. Like, by the way, for those that don't know, I have a podcast. So I do have the Rod Rodriguez show there. I have like 20 episodes. I didn't even know I did 20, but Pinky said I did. So it's there. Just do a search, the Rod Rodriguez show. And it's going to be like that, except I'm not, it's going to be three of us, and we're going to have guests, hopefully. And we're going to be centered initially for the first few episodes on the beauty of the Pinoy culture and all that good stuff. So hopefully you guys will support it. Hopefully you guys will spread the word. And the best part is we can monitor it accurately because we will get like data from from Spotify or the hosting site about the followers, about the viewers, I mean the listeners, their backgrounds, their gender. So it's gonna be very cool. And that's gonna be so no episode on Monday for the video, right?
No, there's nothing. We would probably like talk about like when are we gonna start recording, and like so we're gonna record next week. But no, there's
Yeah.
no show Monday and Thursday, just Saturday.
Okay.
So we're gonna see you next Saturday on this platform. All right.
Yes.
Facebook, same thing. Not a
And
problem.
as for the initial episodes of the podcast, you will be updated, so you'll
Yeah,
know.
we will announce it on the OK Show page.
Yeah. So that's gonna be how it's gonna work. So it's all cool. All right. So at least
Mhm.
when Joe Boy's working and Patrick's on his commute, you can put your AirPods on and you can listen to us. So hopefully it's all good. Alrighty.
Right. Okay. So thanks a lot. This has been the 60th show.
60
For the
episodes.
OK Show, and yeah, 60 episodes. Right. Time flies fast.
Just like
Right.
60.
We still suck
And
after
I
60 episodes.
still can't imagine with 60 episodes. I know.
Oh
Yeah, we
man,
still
after
suck
60
after
episodes, we still suck.
60 episodes. I don't even think there was that many Palibasa Lalaki episodes. You know what I'm saying?
I know, right?
60
Holy
episodes
crap.
of a 2-hour talk show.
All right, but then we're not
Who
done
does
yet. We're gonna
that?
suck some more. Let's suck
Yeah,
some more. Next Saturday, we're
unprepared.
gonna catch you. All right.
Yeah. No. The
Um,
podcast, I think, is gonna kick ass.
Yeah.
I
All
think
right.
it will.
Hopefully,
It's just gonna
hopefully.
sound
Fingers
different.
crossed.
It-
Fingers
it's our
crossed.
faces that ruin it.
Ni mga
It's this,
pangitan ni.
it's this,
Istorya na po do.
it's this fake background that's ruining
I
it.
know,
It's giving
right?
people like certain stereotypes about
Holy
us. They're
crap.
judging us
Yeah.
already. You guys, can you
Okay.
receive revenue from that? Yes, the podcast. There's podcast revenue. I mean, you do want to know about revenue? Well, obviously, we're not going to be on that level, but Joe Rogan, right?
Right.
Yeah,
If
$100 million.
if
How
we
much
even
is
get close to that level,
Yeah, no, but I mean, you never know. You
never know. Yeah, I
'Cause,
know.
I mean,
You never know.
I've listened to a
We'll
lot of the
see.
Pinoy podcast, and not very many of them, really have a broadcasting background. So they're all kind of like just doing
We'll
it by
try
the
it
seat
out.
of
We'll
their
try it
pants.
out,
So we'll
and
see.
let's see if we get lucky, and we'll
Yeah,
try
we'll
to
see
be
if we get
more, accommodating to like there are more people out there,
Yes.
and we have
Yes.
to like accommodate to, I
We
mean,
will be discovered by people beyond the people on Facebook.
yes,
So
yes,
and the cool thing about the podcast is, when people do a search and we pop up, it's like we know immediately that that's our audience.
Mhm.
Like if somebody's like Filipino culture, Filipino lifestyle, they type that and then we show up. then at least we know that right then and there we already have they're interested already. We don't have to, it's just a matter of entertaining them. But the topic or whatever it is that we're covering, it's already right up their alley. We're not convincing people to listen to rock if they don't like rock. Because like on Facebook, we're throwing our show blindly. There might be people listening and they're like, they don't get us because they never listen to us on radio. But on
Right.
podcast, if somebody searches for something, that's the category they're searching for. They know what a podcast is about. They're ready for a 2-hour talk or 1-hour talk. They're not being forced to do anything. They wanted it. That's why they're on Spotify podcast. So you have to
Right.
put yourself in the proper location to be found by the right people. I think that's how it works.
All
So
right,
hopefully
cool.
we'll get revenue, man. So,
Hopefully, yeah.
So I just have
Okay,
to throw my
so
green screen away.
no, we're still
No, no, no.
doing this. We're
No,
still doing this on
we're still,
Saturdays.
okay,
So
yeah,
yeah.
you're right. You're right. We are still
Yeah,
doing
all right.
this.
So
That's
yeah,
right,
we're
you're
still
right.
gonna suck some more. So yeah, like don't keep it, keep the green screen.
And I think
All right,
it'll
so
be more effective if we're not seen all the time. So we're gonna
true,
miss it.
true.
We're gonna miss
Yeah,
actually, interacting
yeah.
with you guys.
It can get tiring, to see us all the time.
And we're running
All
out
right,
of
okay.
clothes to wear.
True. Balik-balik na eh.
Balik-balik.
Pabalik-balik na yung paulit-ulit na. Wala na mga outfit. Walang sponsor.
But you know what? Hey, I'm proud of the 60 episodes, man. I did not.
Yes.
I mean,
Yes.
I did not know that we could just like do it like that. It just zipped on by. 60
Well,
episodes.
yeah, we
What
like
is that?
talking.
Like,
Of
how many
course.
months was it?
I don't know. We started May, I think. May, June.
Wow. And it's like September, almost end of September. So
Yes. So it's been about
man.
like what? Because we do a lot of episodes. There were times that we would do 4 because it would be like you feel like doing an episode.
Yeah. Yeah, we
There
weren't
was
like
a time
set
when we
on
were
like
doing it.
it-
Yeah. Because
Yeah, we
there
didn't
was a
have
time when we were doing like 4 or 5 times a week.
Yeah.
We
Yeah, I remember that
we tried to
episode
do
of
it like
Bawal
the
Yan, Bawal Yan, that kind of stuff.
bawal yan.
That was maybe our
Bawal yan.
third
Bawal
episode.
yan.
Maybe our
I think
fourth.
so. Yeah, the bawal yan. Yeah.
Imagine.
That was
But
fun.
anyways, yeah, do join us when we do the podcast and upload it. Please support the show, spread the word,
All right.
and
Good
we'll
night,
be there.
Mom. All right, I'll
Good
I'll
night,
call you.
Tita.
All
Which
right,
country are you visiting next?
All right. Yeah, they were actually talking about it. Like,
Do
all
you,
right.
do you have a country in mind? I mean,
Well, they were,
nice.
well, they were
Where
thinking.
if you had a choice, like you could travel with your mom, where would you want to go?
Well, I want to go to Canada because I want to see my brother too. I want to be there
Yeah,
with
you haven't
him.
been to Canada. That's right. You haven't.
I
Been to
haven't
Canada.
been. Yeah, because like my family's been with me here in Japan. So Aldon was here, Bella was here. So we tried that, like being in Japan.
So
So
it's
that was
only
kind of
Kakay
cool.
and your mom who's been to Canada.
Yeah. So I mean,
Hold on. Didn't Aldon go to Canada?
No, he didn't. They came here. They came to Japan.
Okay, where
That's
was
when
he when
he-
I remember seeing Aldon with a picture like he was only wearing shorts, but it was like cold outside or something.
Yeah, that was Japan. That it was
Okay,
so
Japan,
embarrassing.
okay. That
'Cause
wasn't
he
Canada.
went to
all right.
he went to the supermarket really near my house, and he was wearing shorts and tank top, and everybody was staring at him.
Yeah. So that was
Imagine that,
there. Okay,
man.
I thought it was
Yes.
Canada because Canada's cold, right?
No, I mean Canada would probably be like
He
okay.
won't be able
with
to
it,
do
like,
that in
"Nah."
Canada. Trust me, he will not be able to do that in
Probably,
Canada.
yeah.
I don't think.
But I think he would have tried it though. I know he would have tried
probably,
it, right?
Probably.
But
Maybe
here
he
it's
can
like
do it. But
yeah.
you
Well,
can
he got
do
sick
it.
after
Where's that from?
Dude, he did
Where's
it.
that from?
You can do it.
Who does that? Who says that all the
You can.
time in movies?
You can.
You can do it.
Dolphy?
No. The best friend of what's his name? Adam Sandler, the Pinoy guy.
Rob
Can
Schneider.
do it. Rob Schneider. That's always his
Rob
line. in,
Schneider.
like,
You
Adam
can.
Sandler movies. He shows
Oh,
up.
Ula.
You can do
Don't
it.
tell Ula.
Yeah.
Right.
So you were saying what you were saying?
Yeah, well, he got sick after that. He got sick the next
you
day.
got that.
Yeah.
So which country? Which country? Oh, Canada, right? For you?
Yeah, Canada. So, like we could try what it feels like to be, like
And
to
then
be
take a
there.
road
Like
trip
the
to
whole
the
family's
States.
there.
And
Yes,
then take
yes,
a
yes,
road trip
yes.
to the States. I mean, might
Yeah,
as well
then
hit
I'd
two birds
be,
with one stone.
I'd be, I'd be
But that
stopped
has
at
to be
the,
like at least a month-long vacation, man. You can't
True.
like spend money.
Then
and,
if
like,
dude, I don't have a Canadian passport, so we all have to get a U.S. visa. If I don't have a visa, we'll be stopped at the immigration. Like you
no,
can't.
just go to Canada and like don't come back.
Right?
Canada will give you the citizenship eventually.
Dude, you didn't go to Canada. What makes you think I'm gonna go there if you didn't go there? Like you were
Me?
supposed to go there and you didn't.
Oh yeah, yeah. I was supposed to go there, but
We talked to
dude,
that guy. We talked to that guy at Brick Lane, and I think he's from Saskatchewan. I don't know. No, I think he was from Canada. But then like we were talking to him, and he was like, "Dude, what are you gonna do in Saskatchewan? Are you crazy?"
I know. He's like, you know what's there? Like, dude, it's like a stepping stone. Supposedly, like you go there and
Right.
like you work
And he
at a
was like,
piggery
"No,
or
I came
something.
here. What are you talking about? Why would you go there? I'm here. I'm
I know, yeah, yeah,
Canadian."
yeah, yeah,
That's
yeah,
what
yeah.
he
It's like, hey,
said.
I left that
I
place.
remember that. So that made you like, all right, never gonna go to Canada. Never gonna go to Canada.
Dude, if we're talking about you talk about like Vancouver or Toronto, that's different. I mean, Saskatchewan is like the bukid of the bukid, man. So that's different too. It's a different part of Canada, but you know, but
You're
still,
gonna love the
yeah, like,
cows there. What are you talking about?
no, it's pigs. Canada
Pigs.
is pork country. They're known for their
All
bacon,
right.
man.
See, pigs. See,
Yeah, they're known for their
unlimited,
bacon. They're known
unlimited
for their
bacon.
syrup,
You
maple.
you
They're
you
known for their
you will finally
poutine.
graduate. You will finally graduate to unlimited rice from unlimited rice to unlimited bacon.
Yeah. If you
Right?
if you go to Canada and you decide to migrate to Canada, then I will bring my family there.
We're probably old by then.
Yeah,
It's
but it's
probably Roger's
easier
taking
though.
you
The
there.
transition there is it's a lot easier. Like
It is
you
true.
don't have to
It is
learn
true.
Japanese, dude. Japanese is so hard to
We'll do that
learn.
when we're retired.
Oh,
We'll do
but you
that
have
when
a
we're
house
retired.
there, so what's the point, right?
That's
That
true.
will be
Yeah.
home. That's home to you. You know.
You also have a house there. We could all sell our houses.
Yeah, but overtime na po. Basta may new topic.
All
See,
right.
they don't
Okay.
want us around anymore. That's basically it. We're,
All
at,
right. I
we're,
told you we're gonna suck some more next
we're
week. All
basically
right. So
having a conversation, and like we forget that there's
yeah.
people out there. Oh, you're there pa pala. I thought we were off air already.
Mga tambay nagulat. Storya pa ni silang duha. All right, okay. We'll see you guys. We'll see you guys next week, Saturday.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll do the podcast thing. All right,
Yes.
Gabs, thanks a lot. You're the man. Right. Good night, Mom. Yeah,
Night,
we'll
Tita.
catch you next week.
Bye bye.
And please listen to the podcast. This has been Iceman, 68th episode.
Rod Rodriguez.
And we are out. Good night.